Hello, hello, hello. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. I think I mentioned it yesterday during my live stream that I was going to do another late night live stream. To be honest, I'm bored. My husband sleeps all day and then he's gone all night, and I get not even an hour with him some days because I usually wake up after he gets home if I'm lucky. He gets home in the morning, he feeds the dogs, he lets them out, and then I usually get woke up an hour or two later by them wanting to come back in, throwing themselves on the door. So I just thought I'd jump on and see what everybody's been up to. Just talk about something non Scientology. Hi, Psych, how are you? Hey, you're first. We're the only ones on here, I think. I have not been out this last week, and I have missed it a lot. I did get to go out yesterday. That was nice. Well, you should see me. I think you were there, weren't you, Sight? So when I sit here, I'm in Indian style on my chase. I have a support behind my back. I didn't think I was gonna get up yesterday. I went to get up and okay. Um I my back wanted to go out on me. Okay. Why this happens every time. I get these pop-ups of weather and crap and I don't even know where they're coming from. So I was just sitting all a little bit hunched yesterday and I went to get up. Oh my goodness. If I hadn't had a cane, I would have made it. I had to climb up my cane. Then, I don't know if I mentioned it, but to get to where I was at, I had to climb over a wooden fence where the top slat was already broken. And I was like, well, I hope nobody cares that I'm here because it was bordered by several buildings. So I didn't know who owned it. And I didn't feel too bad because when I was getting done, there was a group of people just off to the side who were about to take pictures. But I was like, oh, my back was bad all day yesterday for sitting like that. That was so dumb. But, I sit in this all the time like this. Yeah, it hurts my knees and hips. But I forget I have pillows behind my back. So I need to be careful I ever sit on the ground again. And I didn't look very hard for fire ants when I sat down because I was in a hurry. I just plopped down and totally forgot and got totally lucky. Not one fire ant crawled on me because normally anywhere you step, you're going to step in an ant pile. Hey, OHN, what's up? Yeah, I just felt like popping on. I didn't get out to Austin this week. It said it was supposed to storm for 6 days, and it did like off and on, and it was weird. Oh, psych. I hate bugs. But being in Texas for 30 years, I've gotten a little bit more chill, but I still hate spiders. Yeah, when I just look at a picture of a bug or even an ant, ants I can deal with close up sometimes. But I can't even look at a picture of a spider. My stomach tightens up and I get a knot in my stomach. Matter of fact, we're about to bomb and it's mostly because of spiders. And these weird sitting right here, I'm across the front doors right there. So I don't know if they're coming in under the door. But it's a little bit less now but for a while, I was getting 3 bugs a night crawling on me. These beetles and weird stuff. And oh my gosh, the Olympics. Here's the thing. I didn't even care about the religious part of that. The thing that bothered me about it, they looked so bad. I mean, bad. I've seen drag queens, I've seen, all kinds of costumes and dresses and artistic stuff, and none of them looked good. They were the clothes either were ill-fitting, like the dress was 2 sizes too small, the makeup wasn't done well, And it looked like, because I was just looking at it, I was showing it to my husband before he left for work about an hour ago. And I brought up a picture, and I'm like, they look like they had a big box of costumes and clothes, and 15 minutes before they went on, they had to grab something out of it. And exactly, my gay son is even offended. Yeah, that's not the part that bothered me. The part that bothered me was when you tune into the Olympics, you expect an opening ceremony that's beautiful, and a lot of times there's lights and there's a performance of a singer, and maybe there was more because I didn't really watch it. I just saw, the clips and people talking about it. So I don't know if there was more, but whenever you tune into the Olympics, they're trying to outdo the last Olympics. And, there's usually a theme, and there's these beautiful costumes, and yeah, it's grandiose. And I'm trying to get the glare off my glasses for you guys. And I was just very disappointed, just totally disappointed. I mean, this is Paris, France, in Europe. They had so many things to pull from in their history or something, and instead they have a decapitated Marie Antoinette. I mean, that's been done. She's gone. We don't care. Yeah, I've only seen the clip about it, and I didn't even realize what it was, and I didn't even realize it was religious before. And that, honestly, I'm even a Christian, that part didn't even bother me. It was just, it looked so bad. I know, they could have done so much, so much. And and they're trying to wipe it off the internet. Have you noticed? Even Nerd Report, Nerd Report said, are they trying to take any mention of this down? And then I go to it, and his video is gone. Because they were probably trying to copyright strike anybody that talked about it. So I went to DuckDuckGo, not because I saw it on Officer Tatum last night, and I was bringing it up to my husband, and I just wanted to see a still shot of it. I didn't realize there was so many more. The clip that I saw was, I guess, a close up, and that there was no set, no pretty set. I mean, maybe that was just part of it. I don't know. Maybe I was maybe I'll go back if there's more to it, because usually their opening ceremony takes a long time. My husband was already laughing that they were having Snoop Dogg carry the torch, but I like him, so that didn't bother me. It was kind of weird because they're France. You would think they would want somebody from their country to carry the torch and light the torch. I don't know if he actually lit the torch. Who's that lady? I was raised Mormon. Were you? So I think you've mentioned that before. Now, are you in the regular LDS church, or were you in like FLDS or something else? Because I'm just curious. OHN. Yeah, the IOC is going all over social media, pulling copyright strikes and pulling them down as fast as they can, but creators are putting stuff up faster than the IOC can get them struck. Well, so me too, psych. I raised my kids in the church, and none of that happened. I've never seen any of that. So I don't know if like certain wards or certain areas are different, but everywhere else, none of that is being done. I mean, when my kids didn't want to go anymore, they just quit going. And if you didn't want, we were very involved in the church, but if you didn't want to be, you didn't have to be. So that's something I need to know more about, because everywhere else, the stuff that we're taught, I grew up Baptist, and I wasn't taught anything so off the wall I would look at it sideways. And We were active. So I'm kind of inactive right now because I was teaching gospel doctrine when I got sick. See, I don't understand that. That's weird. I'm going to delve into that more because every time anybody ever mentioned escaping, I thought it was from the FLDS or the RLDS or those, because literally here we have 4 wards in one building and all walks of life. But here's the thing though, we all get the same materials. So is this just something those people are doing? Because the materials don't teach that, to keep that stuff away, to not teach science and any of that. I mean, my kids went to regular school, and then here they had to go to seminary in high school an hour before school started. And they weren't taught or not taught anything like that. So it's just weird to me that they're doing something different in other states, because that's not the materials they're being given. So I'm worried that there are bishops, and yes, I am. But I don't talk about it much because there's so many people that don't understand the different shoot offs and stuff. And now we had the Texas ones, but that's the guy that went to prison, and they were in a walled community, and there's like 4,000. I don't remember what they were called, but I think they had Latter-day Saint in their name. And that guy, because they married minors. If my husband came to me and wanted another wife, I'd kick him into what. So I'll have to look into that more, because you're the first person to tell me it was the regular LDS church. Because that bothers me. I'm going to have to delve into it now. So I've wanted to ask somebody that, and I usually just don't talk about it in chats, because it's too complicated to talk about in a chat. So if you want to email me, if I can pick your brain, if you feel like it, scientologywontwin @gmail. It's in my description. Because I don't watch a lot of the YouTube videos, because the problem is they're lumping Mormon and all of them, all the shoot-offs they call Mormon, and they're different. It's just like having different Baptist church, and like Free Will Baptist, you can't dance and you can't drink and you can't wear a skirt. In my Baptist church, all the men, and you can't smoke. My Baptist church, all the men were outside smoking. So, it's kind of like that. As a Christian, it has annoyed me is that it would never done what they did. Yeah, that was the first thing that Officer Tatum said when he brought that up, is that they only did that. And because they would have had riots in the streets if they had. Hi, Hitzel. What's up? What's up? I'm gonna do the invite since we've been in here for a little while. If anybody wants to come on, it's up to you. But that's why I like to do this. So I got a new light and I'm playing with it. It's over here. Site. Yeah, psych. I've never felt that pressure like that. Oh, Hitzel, I forgot. You guys have got to call me the day before, because I don't know half the time what day of the week it is, or the date. I wanted to come. My son's up there going to school. I would have went and visited. Dang it, you guys. And I have a 5-passenger truck. We could have carpooled maybe. Yeah, Wei Chen, that's for sure. Yeah, it's fine. Whenever. It's fine. Hi, Diana. A little bit. Mainly the Olympic thing and some other stuff with psych. Yeah, we should psych. We should talk. I would like to know what's going on very much. Because I saw you mention it before, but I never wanted to. In other chats when there's a lot of people, that's something kind of well, it's delicate to talk about. You know, and I don't bring it up very much because I see so many people lump it in, and I'm like, I've never lived like that. I've been a member for 27 to 55, so 28 years, but I haven't been active since I got sick. Yeah, that's all I saw too, Diane. None of us actually saw the opening, so I don't know if there was more to the show. But like we were saying earlier, it wasn't even for me the subject matter. It was just that it was so disappointing in what an opening ceremony should look like. I mean, I hope there was more. Um, Let me look on my phone. I didn't really look. Yeah, I can put my email in the chat. No problem. Make sure I spelled it right. Okay, there you go. Let me see if there had to be more because that seemed kind of short. I'm going to go on DuckDuckGo again because, okay, I can't look at my phone with those glasses. Because I hope that wasn't all. That's my hope. Where it is? There it is. Let's see. Was there more to the Olympic opening ceremony? As it happened, see what you missed below. Let's see. One of the main attractions, Paris, City of Lights. This is just an article. Let's see if there's a video. Paris Olympics opening. Now that's 5 hours. They're showing 5 hours. Took me to YouTube. Oh, they're just showing people outside. They're just showing people. It's not. It's just people outside. I don't know what that means. Spectacular opening.
It was as spectacular as advertised. On a rainy night in Paris, the first ever floating opening ceremony featured a zip line.
Okay, they had a boat, a zip line, a light show, Lady Gaga. There was more to it. I don't know if you can. Dang it. I'll do it at an angle so you can see it. There's Lady Gaga. I don't know if you can see it. Celine. I didn't think Celine could sing. Okay, so there was more, way more to it than that one thing. All right. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. It was Diana. It was anti. Well, I don't know if it was anti or if it was a spoof, but that's not even what bothered me about it. I said it looks so bad. I mean, it looked like somebody gave them a box of costumes and they just pulled out of it 15 minutes before they went on. I mean, if they're going to be artistic, make it look good. The one girl's dress looked like it was 2 sizes too small. Another one, I mean, it just was such a hodgepodge that it didn't even look like art if you wanted it to be that. So, I'm not going to get into the religious part of it. Like I said, I try not to do that too much. But so there are a lot of people that are upset about that part. They were spoofing the Last Supper. So it was what a lot of, devout Christians would take that as disrespectful at the least. Um, but like I said, that didn't even bother me as much as just how bad it looks. I mean, if you're gonna do it, make it look good. I have seen drag queens and people that look great, and that was horrible. It looked like they got costumes from Goodwill or something. It just didn't make any sense. It didn't look good, didn't make any sense. I don't even understand the point, to be honest. Well, it looks like they did a real opening ceremony, so that may have been some little part of it. I don't know when that part happened. I've only watched it on one show because I wasn't going to delve into it that hard. So they did have a show. They had Celine Dion, which I thought she couldn't sing at all anymore because that was what was upsetting her. And she sang. So did Lady Gaga. So it was probably really, they had lights and they did it at the Eiffel Tower. So I'm going to go back and watch the whole thing before I talk too much on it. Because I don't like to talk about things, when I don't have very much information. But I do agree that was tasteful. It wasn't classy, It just wasn't. And it didn't go over, I guess, the way they expected. I don't even think people in that community liked it because of that. They didn't do it well. If you're going to do it well. And that was my thing. If you're going to do drag, you got to make it look good. You got to go all the way. Oh, I forgot. I have a beer. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Diana. We won't talk about that much. But and I don't. Matter of fact, I bought beer weeks ago, and it's just sitting there. Doesn't like my internet. I haven't checked my email, Diana. I told you to email me, and I've been a vegetable. Yesterday, I was telling Psych earlier, after my live yesterday. See, when I sit Indian style here, I have pillows supporting me, and I'm okay. Just my hips and knees kind of hurt sometimes. But when I got up off the ground yesterday, I had to climb up my cane to get off the ground. If I hadn't had that cane, I'd probably still be there. My back went out, and so yesterday this whole week, I told my husband today because he got up a little bit early today, and I said I felt like a slug all week. I haven't watched much SPTV. I haven't been able to go out because every time I looked at the weather, it would say thunderstorm this hour and thunderstorm this hour, and it'd be like right in between. And I don't even know if they actually hit or not. Okay, good, good. I'm glad. I am a very forgetful person, and I was like, read the shirt. This is my favorite shirt. Okay, so the men's gymnastic team did well in day one of trials, and the men's 4x100 team won gold already in swimming. All right, yes, go USA. Sorry if anybody else is not on from USA here. Sorry, guys. Um, I fell asleep at the desk. Oh my goodness. I was watching Pup Groomer last night. It was like 12:30 and I was fading on. I was like dozing off. And then so I prepared to go to sleep, and then my dogs are not on a schedule because of my husband's schedule. On his weekend, I'm up really late. I'm a night owl. Amy, unfortunately, one of the coaches died in the Olympic Village. For which country? One of ours? That's terrible. Oh my goodness. That's gonna kill that team's spirit. I hope they I hope they do well anyway. Wow. Samoan. Oh my goodness. And they're such a small country too. Oh my goodness. I need to watch. I need to watch. I I'll start watching it. What's their so they're later. So they would be starting really early in the morning probably, huh? I'll check out the schedule online. So, I'm trying to keep down so that you're not looking at this. Okay, so help me with this new light. It's just a little round light. It was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. And I can't decide. All right, so it's on this side. Over here is my kitchen light and my living room light. So I needed something over here. All right, let's go with. Okay, so I think it's on cool right now. That's warm. It's over here. That's both kind of cool warm. The boxing coach. There are a lot of people boycotting watching after last night's ceremony. Well, if that, like I said, I thought about it, but if it's only this much of it and they did this whole other thing for an hour or two, then that's a bit different. But I was going to, if that's all they did, or if it was surrounding that whole thing, but I'm sure a lot will. Okay, so there's cool. I think is what I had it on this whole time. I've had it on that, which I felt was a good, I'm not going to make it any brighter. When it gets close to my bedtime, I sit on the stool with no back so I don't fall asleep at my desk. That probably would help, but knowing me, my husband, because when in the army, because they used to have to do guard duty at a desk, and he fell asleep on the desk. And when he sat, he popped a rib. It popped out. And he went all through Christmas and New Year's in horrific pain that year. I can't wait until sitting in a chair doing nothing becomes an Olympic sport. I might have a shot then. Oh no. I found a new addiction, Temu shopping. I got the ice maker you talked about, Kim. I know Temu can be addicting because their prices and they got so many cool things and they don't charge as much shipping. And then they do all these things. If you buy so many things, you get so much off or whatever. So I had to stop looking because I have like 98 things in my cart. So I have to be careful. I'm terrible. This last Prime Day weekend or whatever, I think I bought a bunch of stuff. I'm like, it's on sale. I got to get it right now. Um, Psych. Oh, I know. OHN. Me too. Me too. Um, yeah, Diana. They've got a lot more in warehouses here now, and that's how they're able to get things to us faster on Temu. because we used to use AliExpress, and I bought 2 items and they both came damaged. So I wanted to buy, I have this wonderful pan that I love, and it's electric and sits on the counter. I never use my stove hardly anymore at all. It's granite, um, excuse me, got a granite coating, and I got it. Um, it's like 2 liter. It's not very big, but I can do stir fry in it because I put like a few things in at a time. I stir fry it and I put it in a bowl. I don't even use my wok anymore because I have a cast iron wok. It's huge and heavy. I just did stir fry last night, last night. And I had to because my vegetables were going bad because I did not want to do anything when I got home yesterday. But I needed a screen, so I bought a cheap aluminum. It was made out of like tin foil, and it folds in 3 halves, and it came looking like a wrinkled shirt. It was so mushed, and I'm like, why would you put that in a flimsy envelope with no packing material, not even a piece of cardboard? And I'm like, Temu does the same thing, but they don't have to ship as far. That's my job. I carry a bag. The chat is hilarious, you guys. I'm joking. I can't use cast iron. Hurts my weak. Me too. Yeah, and that's another reason I like it, because I don't have to lift it and move it around really, and I really love being able to put all my stuff right around the pan. Just my kitchen's a weird. It's a weird shape. I have like the counter, the stove, and then a gap, and then the island with the sink is in the island. I did that on purpose. And so I'm able to have, so everything is like in one spot, and this way I can just put everything right around the pan because it doesn't get very hot, and just cook, and it's a lot more fun that way. And eggs, oh gosh, I learned this new thing with we like over easy eggs. I always mess them up. I either cook them too long or they get too hard. So I learned this thing where I put water in it, put the lid on, and that turns the top of the yolk white. I don't have to flip it. I don't have to scoop grease over it. And they're perfect. I just started this not just a few months ago. My husband loves it. Dusty, what's up? What's up? What's up? They sent my leggings in a box. Weird. I know, they make no sense. They put leggings in a box, and it doesn't make any sense. Oh, is it raining there? Yeah, we had storms. We had scattered storms, which was weird this week. My grass is usually brown and dead by now. I don't have to mow it, and I'm fine with that. And oh my gosh, we're still having to mow. It's driving me crazy. Driving me crazy. Had to buy a new lawnmower, but that was fun. We don't do ours anymore. Luckily, our neighbor, he does it on the side, and he was supposed to do it yesterday. When my husband woke up, he said, "Has he come mow the lawn?" I said, "No," because I don't like it to get taller than my chihuahuas, and because I'll lose them, and they don't like it. Um, and he texted him. He said, "Oh, sorry, man. I forgot all about it, and then I started drinking last night." I was like, "Yeah, I can't wait till our grass dies. I don't even mow. I just hate looking. It's like I know I don't take care of it. Oh, look, it's Hitzel.
Hi.
Hitzel's here. Just let me know if there's any weird echo or sound.
I can hear myself pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. I hear you good.
Perfect. So yeah, we went in today.
Oh, was it fun? Who all went?
Oh,
I mean, how many went?
Total, I think, what was it, 3 of us.
Oh man, I was planning on going. Y'all gotta call me. You gotta call me the
Yeah.
night before.
No, it was 4 of us. It was 4 of us, yeah.
Because
It was a lot of fun. But
I found out my son is only like 10 minutes from the org up there.
oh, really?
Yeah.
You said he lives here? He lives close to here, or does he work
No,
near?
he started school in July, this month, right? It's still July, right?
Oh,
Yeah, he
so he
started school up there. So he just put all his stuff in the storage and he's in school for the next 2 years.
Well, yeah, I wanted to show you like everything I got. I don't know how to use this thing, but yeah. Yeah,
What's that?
this is like all the stuff we got today. Yeah, that's the stuff
did you go inside before you filmed and stuff? I wanted to do that. I want to do that so bad.
You still have the opportunity.
Yeah. I might go up and just visit my son one day and go in and not even worry about, just on my own.
I mean, it's just like we just like so natural. We just went in there to find out for ourselves. We were invited, so why not just take the opportunity, see what it was about. It was not like I didn't feel any Xenu vibes today. It was a little bit weird though. A lot of weird interactions, and they did allow us to tour the lady the entire place. Like I saw some weird stuff today.
Really?
I saw a massage.
They had no idea who you were then.
No, they had no idea, and I didn't see anybody that looked familiar to me.
Yeah. Well, that's
so
cool.
Yeah. I was gonna show you we got like 2 Spanish personality tests. They were really pushing the Scientology like net. They really wanted us to go in there, so we got a few of those. Just like more Dallas stuff. They even gave us like a whole Free Winds magazine.
Oh, neat.
We got like this Grease home philosophy, like L. Ron Hubbard Hall. What is this called? I forgot what this is called, but they have like that. So the most interesting, we also have their events list right here. But the most interesting one is this one right here. This is called the Advance, and so that one, it was like more towards the end. I just asked the gentleman at the front counter, can I have this magazine since it was there, and he said, yeah, you can go ahead and have it. He was an older gentleman, and so there was another member there right in front of him. Hi, oh hell no. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there was another member like right in front of him, and he said public shouldn't be seeing this. Something in the lines of public shouldn't be seeing this, and he took all the magazines that were there, but I was able to just scoop this one out. Cool. So I don't know. It's a lot of interesting stuff of the blue. I think my tripod just arrived if you want me to show you like more closer, but it's a lot of interesting stuff.
Maybe you take pictures of it and put it on your community page.
Yeah, I think I'll put pictures of it. That way, like
blue.
Yeah.
It's a Texas contingent here.
Rebel. She was the first one to go to Cedar Park, and she's like, hey, these guys are a cult. Can I take that? And took a whole box of their stuff off. Mm-hmm. I was like,
Miss Kim?
Go. Oh yeah, it's Miss Kim.
Hello, Miss Kim. How you doing? The Mensch guy.
Hi.
Hope you having a great night.
Man, I wanted to go today. I forgot it was today.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I learned I learned nothing. Just said it's culty. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my tripod.
It's okay.
There.
So was it set up a lot like the one here with like all this different screens showing different videos?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we actually went in for. I just said we're out of towners. We're here just like visiting. So they just allowed us to watch a few of the videos. The ones that they were really pushing was the L. Ron Hubbard one. Yep. They wanted you to know who he was. So that's the main one.
Really?
And then they just like showed you all about like how he went in the movie.
As in their spotlight as much because of scavenge.
You tell her all the stuff that we got.
Yeah, I did, but they were really pushing him.
We're infiltrating.
And then the second video they wanted you to watch was the Dianetics, and then the third one was Scientology.
And a baby.
So it was those 3 videos, and then after that, we just picked random ones. I watched the happiness one. I forgot what it's called right now, but yeah.
I want to get a way to have news book too. I'm gonna look
that
on
one.
eBay.
They didn't. Yeah, they really weren't pushing to sell anything too. The lady that was doing, she was an auditor and a minister. She was like doing our whole like walkthrough with us. She didn't push any sales to us. The only thing she said is if you do decide to buy a book, make sure you buy it from the Dallas orgs because they want to meet like their stats or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they even had a trophy. Like as soon as you go up the elevator, they had a trophy of like that they won like something near, or like from the orgs they won something, so they were like the top selling or whatever. But it was like
was it the LRH birthday game?
Possibly? I don't know. No, I'm not sure. But what was interesting is they closed at 6, and they had an event tonight, so it was perfect. They had some sort of like event, but they had it Super Bowl themed. It was, I don't know. They just told us like so much information.
Super Bowl is February.
Yeah. Was it Super Bowl or no? It was Olympics. It was the Olympics.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Olympics theme. So I just like, it was so interesting, like everything I saw today.
Hey, Chosen, we're just chatting and hanging tonight, and I try not to do politics on the channel. So if you keep pushing it, we'll put you in timeout. So, but you're welcome to stay for the chats. Parody just jumped on.
Well, we've got the Texas contingent here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're all Texans. I just realized that.
Yeah. Yep. So I did an hour and 15-minute video on how to do Photoshop backgrounds yesterday.
I'll watch it because any information is good. I'm such a novice to this stuff.
Well, what I'm going to do is next week I'm going to do one on thumbnails, how to make a thumbnail for your videos. So,
yeah, because the only thing I can do is pull images off the internet. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to do it any other way.
It requires a photo editing program, and you can get some decent free ones on the web.
Okay.
And I pay for my Photoshop, so I have
a lot of times I will if it's something I want to use. Mm-hmm. I haven't used Photoshop probably in 15 years or more.
Yeah. It had been a while, and getting the new one, it was a whole new learning experience. So,
because I used to do a newsletter for church, and I had a clip art program and all that, but that was before pretty much my life ended in 2010 and restarted in 2024. So in between, nothing.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since I've done anything.
Well, I told Scooter Mom I would do her thumbnail for her. She's doing that Scooter Report.
That's nice.
Have you heard what that is?
Mm-mm.
Scooter Report. It's basically, think what Natalie does, only for small channels.
Yeah, I saw her post.
Oh, that's awesome. Because I even said, like, even LA, I wish, like, they had a recap of even just what's happening in LA. Because, Natalie does the big stories. But we don't have time to watch all the hours and hours of all the channels.
There's a lot.
Yeah, like I've had good interactions. We've all had really good interactions and stuff that might need to get highlighted. I'm trying to go back now and go to my very first video and going through every video and trying to edit out all the conversations I've had with people.
Yeah, and
Yeah, because it's
do
a
a
lot of
reel.
lives. A lot of
Yeah.
lives to watch. So editing down, it would be, it's a good idea.
That's part of the reason why I don't tend to watch the protest live streams, is because it's 3 hours of the side of a building and the street and the nearest tree.
I'll go on and hang for a while to give them some time, but I
Yeah.
never would do like a whole, and I don't expect anybody to even watch my whole stream.
Right.
Oh, I can watch your whole streams because you just you're so interesting. You know all your stuff. I learned so much off of you.
I don't think I'm interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But the funny
That's only
thing
when
is,
people stop and talk to me, though. But in between, it's like, unless somebody wants to talk to me about it.
It's a lot of the side of the building and the sidewalk.
That's why I try to have a subject in my
Mhm.
title, and I try to have something planned to talk about.
Yeah.
And that way, people that are tuning in, for at least a little
Have
while, I have
something.
some subject matter to talk, something I want to discuss, and then it's just whatever happens.
It was like I was talking to Indigo earlier today, and we were talking about she wants to do some protest work, but she's not sure she wants to live stream.
Right.
And I told her, I said, well, you can do both. I said, the problem with not live streaming is, one, you don't have the chat to help you through the boring part of the time, and that's a lot of the time.
Right.
And two, you don't have the chat watching your back. And those two things. And I said, but at the same time, like I said, 3 hours of the side of a building and then maybe 20 minutes worth of content.
Right.
And so I told her, I said, what I would do if I were you is I would go ahead and live stream the protest.
While you're there.
And then go back with an editor and cut and edit the content part of it, so you have people who are willing to watch the whole live stream or put it on while they go to bed,
right?
And then for them to see the content, people who aren't interested in watching the whole live stream can see the content, and that would be a good way to deal with that.
That's what I'm trying to do, because I've had some really awesome conversations. Matter of fact, Natalie did have somebody sent her a conversation I had with a girl, and it was really good, because she had actually gone in. She saw the cafe. She was a student, and she went in thinking, "Oh, I can come in here and study. It looks public. It's a cafe." And immediately they descended on her, and was trying to, be pushy and try to get her to buy a book and look at stuff. She's like, "I'm just here to study." And she came right to me and saw my sign, and it was like, "What is going on?" She didn't know. And that was really good. I've had some really great conversations with students.
No, you're not chewing on that. No.
I need to, see my shirt? I was talking about this earlier. So that's
I did that today. I was supposed to go to the grocery store. I said 3 times I was going, and I went and got what we had for dinner, and that was it. And I need to go do grocery shopping.
Yeah. I do. I've been doing I do my groceries delivery, but no way can I get produce from them, because it looks like it's been used as a soccer ball in a match. I mean, the crap I've had to throw away. So I get my basics, delivery, but I have to do a produce run every once in a while. And when I do, it's a day. It takes me the rest of the day washing all the vegetables and getting everything ready. And I did that recently.
Well, I
ended up. Do you know what I did? I ended up with 4 different things of romaine lettuce.
Oh.
Do you know how that happened? Okay, so I'm bougie now that it's just me and hubby. So I'll buy like a package of romaine, and I like the one that's still in the stem. It lasts longer. Well, I didn't see that yet, and I have to go to a different store, not the one near me, because the other one is bigger and better. So, so I bought the leaves that didn't have the stem. I'm like, okay, I wanted the regular head that you just buy. Well, the way that it weaves around, I didn't find that till last. So then I found the ones with the stem, and I grabbed those. Then I went and I grabbed, and then I saw the head, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to keep the ones on the one of the package, and I'll get this. I never put the other one back, and I still had one in the refrigerator.
Oh no!
So I have 4 things in romaine. So I'm making like
a lot of salad.
Salad and romaine roll-ups with like cucumber and lynch meat cheese instead of sandwiches.
Oh, how funny!
Trying to use it up.
So Dusty, when are we doing our next Dusty's Corner? I know you're out of town next weekend.
Texas tough. Yes, parody.
Yeah. No, I hit I usually go to the Hutto HEB. Because it's bigger, it's a plus.
You know, actually, I could have said HEB. Y'all know what that is.
Yeah.
Like mine is a little bit smaller. The one in the other town is bigger, and I go there.
Yeah. I have a funny story to tell about HEB and people not knowing what it is. My husband,
I love HEB.
I met him. Oh, I love it too. Well, you know, I used to work for them. If you look at this is an HEB.
Oh, that they're in the top 5 companies to work for in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been here since '93, and we have a commissary on base.
Right.
Literally 3 years after I got here, I stopped using the commissary. I haven't been in the commissary in 20 years because HEB was so competitively priced that there was no point in going to the commissary. Yeah. And the difference is at HEB, you only get taxed on taxable items, which are non-food. At the commissary, you get a 5% surcharge on everything.
Everything, yeah.
And you have to tip your bagger well because they don't get an hourly wage. They only get paid tips.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the reason. I didn't mind that. But it was cheaper to go to HEB.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about my husband and I, we met online before Match.com and all that other crap. And we met in a chat room on AOL. Okay, if that gives you any idea. Yeah. And we talked for a long time. Well, the first time he came to visit me, I told him I lived in San Antonio at the time, and I told him I would meet him at the HEB at De Zavala and I-10 in De Zavala. And so he comes down, and he has all this stuff happen to him on the way down. But then he turns around and he calls me. He says, "Okay, I'm at the Heb." And I'm like, "The what?"
Yeah.
He goes, "The Heb." And I went, "Heb? What the hell is Heb?" He goes, "Heb, you know, HEB." Oh, HEB.
I used to call it like that too.
Me and my kids, when you go to type it, what does it correct you to say in your autocorrect? Does it do it to you? Hebrew.
It doesn't.
Hebrew?
So half the time I just leave it. So we'll be like, I'm going to Hebrew. We all know what that means.
That's hilarious. I used to have stock in HEB when I worked there.
Oh my goodness. I have one of my Girl Scouts who's probably my daughter's age, 30, started working there, and she's been there forever. I have to use some nasal spray. Hold on.
That's okay. Yeah, HEB is a great company.
They've
gotten a little harder recently.
The kids own it now, I think, probably why. The
exactly.
butt's really
busy all the time.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna head out now. I'm gonna get some rest.
Okay. Good to see you.
It was fun having you. Yeah, definitely that one on Blue. Take pictures of everything you got and put it on your community tab. People will love it.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that. But y'all have a great night, and I'll watch your live here. Bye.
All right. Bye. But anyway, the kids have it now, and I think it's same thing happened to Walmart. Walmart used to be halfway decent until the kids got a hold of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I think HEB's kind of they're heading Walmart's direction in the fact that they have. Well, I mean, if you look at what they've done in their stores, they now have all the home stuff, the throw blankets stores. And the chairs and crap, and I'm looking at them and going, "You're a grocery store, not a Wally World."
We have the area, but we have 2 towns and the base,
right,
y'all. So, and I tell people this and they're amazed. Now, when we got here, there was nothing here.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. We had a Winn-Dixie that closed when I got here. I watched my HEB get built and expanded twice. So you have the base, and outside the base is Killeen, then Harker Heights. You have two towns that are about a 15-mile radius. I am not exaggerating. Right. It literally from one end to the other is 15 miles tops. In that area, we have 3 super Walmarts, 5 neighborhood Walmarts, 5 Starbucks, 2 HEB Pluses, 2 regular HEBs, and a Sam's Club.
Yeah, we have. Well, I'm closer to Austin. I'm in Pflugerville, but we have only one Walmart close. I mean, Austin. I mean, come on, we're going to have a ton of them. And HEBs all over the place as well. We have 2 Costco's that I know of.
Yeah, one we used to come down there to Costco because we just when we didn't have the Sam's Club, we would come down to Costco on 183 all the time.
Yeah, you don't have to go that far anymore. There's one off of 130 and Kelly Lane.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you can. It's in Pflugerville. And they're building a brand new Pflugerville HEB.
My town.
Yeah, it's all HEB.
Yeah. I worked at Kmart for a short time when I in my youth, and they paid us weekly in cash.
Yeah, yeah. We have a Target, or I call them Target.
Yeah.
In the area, we have a Best Buy. What else?
We have everything. We got
Lowe's.
We got an outdoor mall several years. It didn't start booming here till the 2000s. We used to have to go to Austin or for stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad here. Well, I say that. I lived in Hutto for a while, and it wasn't too bad there until Tesla and Samsung came in.
Oh, they're over there. So I knew they opened near Austin, but I didn't know what area.
Yeah, Samsung's in Taylor. And I can't remember. I think Tesla's over by Circuit of the Americas in that area, over by the airport area. But I mean, you could get a piece of property out here for, $60K for about 3 acres.
We had a chance when we first got here to buy 8 acres in Copper's Cove for $8,000, owner financing, $100 a month. But 2 reasons. Mainly it was flat and they get a lot of tornadoes. We regret that so much.
Oh yeah.
But where we are now, it doesn't feel like we're in a city, even though we're very close to a mall and stuff. But we overpaid for these. We got 2 lots because if we didn't, it gave us a bigger yard. And I wanted my kids to have a bigger yard because they hadn't had one like that since we had government housing in California, which it was all sand anyway.
Yeah.
Now it's worth more than we paid for it, and I never thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because, they have built up this area so much, the prices have gone through the roof.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have got that.
Like I said, you could get 2 or 3 acres for, $60K. Now,
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. You cannot get an acre. You can't even get a half an acre for less than almost $100,000.
Yep.
And it was Samsung coming in that did that. It just exploded. And of course, then we got Kalahari, which we had prior to, which was in Round Rock. But, it's just incredible. So housing in Round Rock, went from, 150,000 to 300,000, for just a 3-bedroom house. So it's crazy. But yeah, we'd like to get a piece of property to move to.
Yeah, I know, us too. We want to move more towards Waco. We have a camper,
Uh-huh.
and I'm done with this house. I don't want to. I can't take care of it anymore, and Tom
Mm-hmm.
can't take care of the yard. And I'm like, the best way to make money on it is to rent it
Uh-huh.
and move. We bought a humongous camper because we had a big family at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I intended on living in it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Here's
goodness,
Pup Groomer.
she did it
Hey,
again.
Pup Groomer.
Jumped in. She came in and did a Gorilla 5 memberships.
There she is,
We were talking
man.
about that last night.
Yeah, she's good at that. She must have extended her monthly allowance.
Yeah,
for
I heard her
doing
talking about. Yeah, she said it was about to start over. Thank you.
the-
She had a really good reason why she does it, and it made so much sense, which I
Mhm.
appreciate. So, good night, Diana.
Good night, Diana.
Oh, Sykes a member now. That's so cool. So, Vancouver. Oh God, I know, Floyd.
Yeah,
2 million for a
it's
decent
crazy.
bedroom. I follow somebody that does remodeling up there, and I've heard how freaking
Hey,
expensive
Parrot, thanks
it
for doing
is.
that paratology. I can't even
Oh
say
my God, Parody!
parody.
That's so awesome. It's raining memberships.
It's
Oh
raining
my
green.
goodness. Thank you so much.
Hallelujah. It's raining green.
Hi, Michael. Good to have you. $1.80 a liter. I don't know what that means.
$1.80 a liter. Well, a liter's slightly bigger than a gallon, I think. $1.80 a liter. A liter is smaller than a gallon.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I will figure that out for you. So, how many liters in a gallon? Oh God, I have to switch glasses. Okay, I will figure that out. Liters.
Tammy wants to know
I
if you're
Google
going to
everything.
Tammy wants to know if you're going to be doing Dianetics tomorrow.
Yep. 3 o'clock.
Okay. And what time?
3 o'clock. We always do it at 3 p.m. on Sundays. Last week, I just forgot what day it was. I was like, Dusty's thing came on at 5, and I got the notification. I was like, oh, I missed Dianetics. So after that, the subscribe-a-thon, I went on real quick for an hour because Dianetics is so long, and that chapter was so long. I couldn't miss a week. There's 4 liters in a gallon. So 4 times, oh, that's expensive. 4 times 180.
So that'd be $8 a gallon almost.
Yeah. Oh my God. When I was in California with my daughter. $7.20. Oh my goodness. So I rented a car to go to a meetup. I don't know if y'all know who Popcorn Planet is. Annie Signor. Well, I've gone to 3 meetups for Popcorn Planet. I went to the Vegas meetup like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now. And that's the first time I traveled ever alone without kids or husband. And B, since I'd gotten sick, it was rough. But I got to meet all of them. Kim, all of them. They were going for the Johnny Depp concert. And then I was in LA last September for 3 weeks to help my daughter with the new baby. I hadn't met my new grandbaby yet. She was almost 2 years old. And so I went out, and Steph had been talking about going to LA, but hadn't put no dates out yet. So I just made my reservations. Well, then right after that, she made her announcement when she would be there, and I only had to extend my trip a week. I rented a car, and we did a meetup in Burbank. The reason it was about the gas. Okay, so I got a really good deal on my rental car.
Okay.
What I didn't expect was when I went to fill it to turn it in, it was more than the rental car.
Oh, jeez.
Because it was almost $7 a gallon. Plus currency exchange, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap, I didn't budget that. I could have Ubered there and back for the same price.
Yeah, it's, we're not used to really high gas because, I mean, we're looking at $3
near
and
the
what?
Gulf.
Yeah.
We're near refineries.
It's like $3.19 a gallon or something that right now. And it was down under $3 a few days ago. So
yeah.
So, Pup Groomer, I do want to tell you, and no face, you can move this on. I was waiting for your stream to come on last night, and fell asleep at my desk.
Andy is cool. Tammy, what Tammy say? With the link, the stream was shut down. Oh, they're talking about something. Let me go back here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so jumping in to ask an off-topic question, Miss Kim, will you? Oh, okay, you asked me that. Okay.
Yeah. That is 3 p.m. Central. I'd be willing to bet.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So usually, what I've noticed is if you see it before it comes on, and it says when it's going to start, it's your time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is.
That's what's cool, because if somebody like Aaron is going on, and for him it's 4, it'll say 3 on my notification on the notification.
Right. Yeah.
I know that's a steal. We've always had like the best gas prices here in Texas, because we're near the Gulf and
all the big refineries
in Beaumont. Huh?
Yeah, and all the refineries are here in Texas. I think there's one in New Jersey, and the rest of them are in Texas.
My son went up to Midland and worked for 2 years at I don't know what, he drove for the refineries for a while as a truck driver, and then he worked in a yard for a while, and he was making bank.
Yeah.
Making bank. But it was nothing there. It was the middle of nowhere.
Good money. You do offshore refinery, it's even better money. You know, it's just really good money.
Bacon.
Yeah. Me falling asleep good at the desk, not so good. Yeah, that was, I woke up, looked up, and you were on, and I'm like going, oh, hell no, I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, the thing was, I told her I was dozing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, my dogs drove me crazy for 2 more hours. I didn't actually go to sleep till 2:17, but I was like this. Because I woke up and I heard Pup Groomer talking about, I can't remember what it was now. But if you don't have AC, it's hot in Texas. Dude, if my AC goes out, I'm going to jail for murder.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot do.
My AC goes out.
I cannot do no AC.
It's going to be, okay, we're not getting groceries this week. We're getting the AC fixed.
Oh, I know.
You know, we're
right?
We're going to eat rice and beans all week.
Right. I know. Exactly.
Hey, Carrie Ann.
I've had it go out for an hour here and there, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah.
You think
mine's not working?
Nice? I turn into a gremlin after midnight if there's no AC.
Yeah,
I know.
I tell you what, boys, the grid did go down. The grid did go down. We call it Snowmageddon.
Yep, Snowmageddon. I'm from Ohio, and you think I would be prepared? Oh my God, we were not prepared.
We slept 3 nights in the car.
Our electricity didn't go off, but we don't have a slab. You know, we're raised up, so our water pipes are just laying on the ground, pretty much underneath. And my husband had never had to insulate all of it. They busted. We didn't have water for a few days, and we had to use the bucket toilet with the bags and stuff in it.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, our electricity went out. We slept in the truck, in the cars for 3 days. It was horrible. We took everything out of the refrigerator and stuck it in the snow.
Yeah, I know, right? You just put it outside. Our plants outside, we had rosemary bushes. They died. Just died. But
my rosemary survived.
We didn't lose electricity, thank the Lord. But we had my husband was out there in a freaking, I don't even know what, a snowsuit and gloves under the house fixing these pipes, and he had to do it 3 different times because he couldn't find where it was. But yeah, Parody went 2 weeks without electricity after the hurricane. The hot. It's cooler now than it was a month or 2 ago. It was in the hundreds.
It's actually been really cool these last couple of weeks.
It's been in the 80s, low 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, highs in the low 90s and lows in the mid 70s.
That's amazing for July.
Yeah,
it,
I mean,
it was
usually
100 and something in May and June, and I think we're gonna hopefully have a cooler. Yeah,
that's what they're
Parody, it
saying.
was hot. He said.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I
Is that it's
literally
gonna be
would have
cooler.
thought. Wait, what? Let me go back. 80. I couldn't even do no AC at 80. I couldn't. I don't have access. Most houses here don't have central heat in here. I don't anymore.
Mhm.
When our AC unit died after it was over 20 years old,
Yeah.
and there was no parts for it,
Mhm.
and we were in a hurry. It was August. So
Mhm.
we ran out and bought window air conditioners, and we were going to go to a mini. We got rid of our, what do you call it, duct system,
Mhm.
because not being a slab, we felt there was definite loss of air and
Mhm.
probably critters up in there.
Yep.
So we were going to go to mini split, but we spent so much money on these high speed window air conditioner heaters, and we've got one in the living room here. It works so good. Our electricity bill went down.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think because you can do each room differently. So I'm like, we're just gonna do that for a while until
Yeah. I
probably
don't think
when
they'd
we go
let
to
us
rent
here.
it. We'll go to the mini split system because renters don't want to have air conditioning units in their way.
Yeah, I don't think that they will let us where we're at have window units.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're these people are anal. I
Yeah,
mean, it's kind of
that's why
funny.
we bought property
Yeah, see, we
instead
don't have
of
we're renting, so
yeah.
I want to buy property. I've already told my husband I think the best thing we've been in this house 6 years. And I think the best thing that we could do is do what little fix up we absolutely have to do,
Mhm.
and then use it as a trade in for our land package,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, thing.
That's
But
why I'm like, I'd rather rent ours for a
mhm,
few years and then
yeah.
let's see. So I'm going through the chat a little bit here. God, I couldn't do with the grid going down, and
Not
we
in the
used to
summer.
be kind of what you would call minimal preppers. We used to have the 72-hour kits when the kids were young. We
Mhm.
always tried to have a good deal of food storage and stuff.
Yeah.
And we don't have nothing anymore.
Yeah, I don't
And
yeah.
if Snowmageddon ever happened, so because of Snowmageddon, because of the water, I
Yeah.
do have a lot of extra water, jugs and bottles, cases of bottles water. I do have a lot of water.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, if the power went down in the summertime, I mean, we've had a couple of brownouts in I think it was June, but nothing major. Um, but if it went down in the summertime,
mm,
mm-mm,
yeah.
no way. We'd
Like I
be
said,
staying
it
at a
did,
hotel.
and what we started with was he went out and got an air conditioner for the bedroom, and I stayed in the bedroom until
Yeah,
we figured out what we were doing. Because we thought it was fixable at that point. Yeah,
yeah,
Paraditology did the 2 weeks. This was May and June when it was hundreds
yeah.
with a USB power fan and a
Hmm.
Yeti cooler. Dude, I couldn't have
I've
done it.
heard about that.
Floyd 95 when I get home. No AC. I have an evaporator fan with water and I put ice in it. I've seen those because we camp and I was looking at doing that.
Yeah,
Generator is a good standby.
yeah.
We've talked about getting a generator. That is a good idea. Parody. I have a 12K generator. I could not fill it with gas in my back. Oh, Parody. That's
Oh
why
no.
you should have called us, Guy. Parody.
Yeah.
We would have come down and helped you with that.
So Dusty, you missed my questions. When are we doing the next Dusty's Corner? I know you're out of town next weekend. Yeah, I want to get solar. I want to get solar panels.
Oh my, we do too.
I really would like to do solar, but they are so expensive. And
Yeah, I
I'd
know.
like to get
We want to
the
get
other
it on our camper.
yeah, the other thing I wanted to get is I want to get a water filter that's does the entire house because we have one on our fridge, but that's it. And I want to get one of those on-demand water heaters.
Oh, we looked at that for this house because recently our water heater went out. It just died because it was over 20 years old. And we researched, our house is 1,100 square feet, and we researched it. And the best system for us was 2 separate on-demand water heaters, one in the house where more happened, and one for the small bathroom on the other side. But we watched a lot of YouTube videos, and they said it wasn't cost efficient.
Yeah.
Because we wanted, so we went ahead. But I've had a garden tub we've had this house since 95. And I've had a garden tub. And I usually can only fill it in summer. I've had to boil pots of water for winter.
Yeah.
And this is our second water heater. The first one died after 3 years. And we upgraded that one. We didn't realize. So we upgraded to, I think, 40 gallons this time a few months ago.
Yeah.
And now I can fill my garden tub. It's awesome.
You know, I fill my garden tub. I have a garden tub as well, and I fill it with the shit that I can't fit on my counter. I'm one of those people who I don't like to sit in my own dirty water, so I take a shower. I mean, I'm just.
Well, the reason I can't do showers anymore. With fibromyalgia, when the hot water hits you, it creates a overstimulation, and I will literally start shaking and possibly fall. So that's the only reason I take more baths than I used to. So
yeah, that would be a problem for me.
Yeah, that's the only reason that I take baths more than I used to.
Yeah,
it used to just be to relax.
Yeah. I get in the shower with my pain, and I take my shower, which is relatively quick, and then I will run the hot water heater out of hot water with just having hot water on my lower back, you know. So I do that, and I just don't care for baths. Now, some people have told me, you know, it might help you to take an Epsom salt bath. Well, the problem with that is I'm also diabetic, and that doesn't do well for diabetics. So, yeah. But, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, psych has the same issue. Not because we're disabled, we have to take the bath. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. But I do have a handheld
shower head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I did recently, because I was overheated. I got home and I was overheated. And even though it's not set up for a shower, I just stood and did a cool, you know, oh my God, you know, shower down.
You know, it's really funny, though. If you're overheated, you're better off taking a hot shower because it raises your body temperature higher than what the ambient air is. And so the ambient air feels cool.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So you stay cooler longer is what happens. If you go hot shower and then step out into the cool. I mean, think about it. When you take a hot shower or a hot bath and you step out into your room, you know, you're really cold because the air conditioner is running, right?
Oh, Purity got a membership. I just saw that.
Cool. But yeah, it's I'm just funny that way. I guess eventually there's two things. One is stepping into a bathtub is really not something I can do very well. Whereas showers, you know, they're low and I can just step in. So
I have to use my cane to get out.
Yeah. So if it came down to it, I would probably have to get one of those walk-in tubs, which to me, I'm like going, okay, I could do that because it has the massage jets and I could just sit in there for God knows how long in a hot tub, you know?
I want to get that Coleman blow-up hot tub.
Oh, don't start talking about washing boobs.
Don't start. Don't start with that.
Poor Dusty.
I didn't get into my...
Because every time I come on to his streams, I start talking about boobs.
My husband's a boob dude, too. But did you see my fall when I was on campus?
No.
I face planted
Oh.
hard, and it just so happened my husband got it on camera because I had just handed him the gimbal.
Oh,
and if you go back, it's been Thursday before last. So what it is, and I show it because I still haven't contacted the University of Texas yet, because I'm not the only one that's done that. It's camouflaged. So there's a big fountain, and there's a little fence around it, and there's an opening. The sidewalk is embedded with gravel.
Right.
In front of the fountain, it's gravel. And there's this little lip that has gravel embedded in it. You can't see it. I hand my husband the gimbal and I go, bam, right flat out. No chance to catch myself. I thought my face was going to be black and blue. My other glasses that I normally wear,
they're in pieces.
No, they're just, this whole lens is scratched up. That's the only reason I don't have a black eye.
Oh, wow.
And my whole body hurt because I think I landed flat and it just went ding. But I landed flat. So it's been 9 days now. And the inside of my woman part is still black and purple.
Oh.
That's the only bruise I have on my whole body.
Dusty, see, I haven't talked about women parts yet on your streams.
Oh, Dusty was there. I seen you fall live, and my husband just goes, "I got that on camera."
He's gonna send it into Funniest Home Videos so he can get $1,000, right?
He clipped it and sent it to my kids without no context because he has no filter and he can be a jerk.
So, no!
So they have no idea what's going on. My son calls me when I got home and he goes, "I thought for about 10 seconds I thought you were dead because I didn't move. I landed and I was just like, I'm not." He goes, "Are you okay? You can't hear it." I go, "No." You biffed it. I did, man. Wow. And I still got scabs on my hand.
Well, at least your boobs caught you.
God, it doesn't hurt, but it looks horrible. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's when the boobs didn't get in trouble.
Yeah, they did a good thing. It's something they should address. It's a tripping hazard. Yeah, because I mean, I saw the steps in front that were white, but there's no way to see that lip. No way. Because I don't care. I'd be like, I'm an idiot. I didn't see it. No, I was looking.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh,
at least you didn't have your phone and your gimbal in your hand. It probably would have ended up in the fountain.
Oh my God, I know. And I'm kind of glad I didn't have notice, because if I had tried to catch myself,
probably
my hands and arms and crap would have been toast. And the whole body took the impact, and I felt my face hit the ground and bounce. You can see my head bounce. And I cannot believe I don't have black eye. I'm amazed. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't see it live and loved your husband's reaction.
Yeah. I mean, and then had it been me, I'd have had been laying on the ground for God knows how long until somebody came by to help my happy ass up off the ground.
He had to help me up. It was hard. I was like, we were trying to figure out how to get me up. And then he showed a guy at work the clip.
Yeah.
And how he just went, I got that on camera. And you can tell he doesn't understand that the gimbal wants to keep the phone level. And he's trying, all you see is the top of my head while I'm sitting on the ground. Anyway, he showed his buddy at work, and his buddy goes, dude, you're a dick. That's just the way my husband is.
I got that on camera. That's how some of my boys would say. My husband would be, are you okay?
Yeah, broken wrist avoided. If I'd have tried to catch myself, I would have had so much
fun. That would have been bad. That would have been bad.
Yeah. So that's what kept me out for a good few days. And then when I was ready to go back to Austin, then it was saying
Rain.
thunderstorms all the time. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's been like, well, last Thursday, so it's been over a week since I've been back.
Yeah.
I'm like, everything is working. I know
It's
there's
been raining
reason.
off
There's
and on all
something
week.
working against me. I need to get my butt out there.
Yeah, it's been raining off and on all week in this area.
Mm-hmm. It hasn't rained here that much. It did rain some right at the beginning, but I know because my when I open up my app, my Weather Channel app, it's set on Austin.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been raining. It's like scattered thunderstorms type things.
Yeah, so I can't predict it, and it's not the rain I'm worried about. I'm worried about the lightning.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I use a cane Floyd for balance, but when you're face planting, that cane didn't do me any good.
Yeah.
No rain in July here. Floyd, normally we don't have rain after March,
mid-April, yeah.
Yeah, and usually we have cracks in the ground that are so deep I can stick a stick in it, and the grass is brown.
And everything's brown. Everything's brown. We have 2 seasons, green and brown, dead and brown.
Winter is green.
Yeah.
We get rain.
Yeah, winter's relatively green except for all the leaves are gone. But the other night, I felt so bad. I got up because I had to go to the bathroom, and my dog Sabbath is like attached to me at the hip, and she had gone and gone somewhere into the kitchen or something, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and I went in, and I came back out and stepped exactly where I stepped getting up, and she had come back in and laid down, and I stepped on her nose. She yanked the head up and looked at me like, what the? And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm sorry.
Where's Lakewood?
And where?
Lakewood, Texas.
Yeah. It's been raining.
Oh, it's near Dallas.
No, up near Dallas, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it takes me about 2.5, 3 hours to get to Dallas. So Lakewood's probably about that far.
Yeah, probably.
It
takes.
Floyd knew about it.
Takes 4 hours from Austin, 4.5. I guess. I don't do Dallas very often.
I miss rain. I wish it would stop. I really do.
But the thing is that the upper lakes have taken so much of the water that Travis is still way down. So.
Yeah, our lakes, we have 2 Army of Corps Engineer lakes here. And that's where our water comes from. And they were so low that there's an island in Stillhouse Lake that you could walk to that you couldn't before.
Oh, wow.
Well, after all this rain and way back in May, if you look on my community page and scroll down, I showed pictures, not only the beach, all the pavilions and all the roads and the bathrooms were all underwater.
Oh, so wow.
They have filled all the way back up now.
I'm hoping that Buchanan and the Upper Lakes will start releasing some of it because Travis is really low.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it still is really low. I mean, it's come up a little bit with all this rain, but yeah, it's still really low. It's unbelievable. And Travis is where we get our water, so yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah.
But Travis has been low for 3 years. So I mean, you got to figure.
So were ours until this year.
Yeah. So you got to figure that it's got 3 years worth of drought that it's trying to recover from. So you rush hour on some days. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long rush hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. It used to be, that's why the time of day why I go to Austin when I do. Because I used to have a doctor's appointment in Austin like around 8 a.m. I would have to leave at 5 a.m. To be on it takes 3 hours. Lake Mead in Cali is full. Really?
Wow.
It was so
because it was so low.
I was
watching that. Yeah, it was.
Wow.
So it's filled up now. That's good to hear.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, they were finding old cars and boats and
bodies.
and bodies in there.
Found bodies, which doesn't
Well,
surprise me.
well, you heard about the Lady Bird Lake issue, right?
Yep, I watched the documentary.
They've caught the original guy, and now there's a copycat out there.
Well, the one I watched, I'll send you a link to it.
Yeah.
They were showing these women that travel,
Mm-hmm.
and they drug men's drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and they get them outside, and they try to steal their phone and get into their bank accounts. And what they think is they didn't get the dosage right or something like that. It wasn't to kill them. It was to steal their money, and the rest was an accident. They also talked about it could be bartenders, because bartenders
There's a
float
bartender,
around.
yeah. But apparently a lot of them come from the same bar.
They
or
did.
same set of bar.
Same street. Rainier.
Yeah.
And I know this is wrong, but it's like Rainier or something street.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's freaky. And the fact that they're not investigating it more is
you would think.
Especially as many as we've had this year.
Yeah.
This year alone is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make after 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. to avoid the traffic. That's, Floyd, that was smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had to take up a whole day of work. I should have done that too.
See, I dropped my husband off at work, and then I have to go to the Scott and White Hospital right there at Round Rock and 35, and at the, what is it? Not University and 35.
Yeah.
And
I had surgery there at St. David's on University.
Yeah, this is Scott and White. And so what I do is I make my appointment as early as I can get in. And then I drop my husband off at 5 o'clock and just drive down and sit in the HEB parking lot, go in and get strawberries and cheese for breakfast, and go to my doctor's appointment after that. So it's not this big, go home, come back out to the same basic area,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Charity's like, I'm proudly retired, avoids rush hour because I can. We had so much rain, the mosquitoes afraid. One of these years I'm self-employed and I like my work. Yeah. I'm trying to get my husband permanently retired. We need to sit down and make a plan. I'm like, we need to make a 2-year plan for you to retire. And he just started laughing. He goes, you're funny.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem that we've run into retirement wise, although my husband has military retirement, that's what's paying the house payment.
Yeah.
Is his military retirement. And he has that. And then, of course, we both have put into Social Security. So hopefully there's still some left by the time we retire. And but other than that, we have no retirement savings because we just haven't been able to. And life is so damn expensive these days that you just can't. And so, he's 4 years older than me and I'm 61. And, he drives dump truck, and he questions how much longer he can do that. And I'm like, I don't know. And once that happens, it's going to be tight because I'm basically retired now because of the pain. Now, granted, I'm getting after the doctors now to give me a percentage disability so I can go to SSI again to see if I can get into that. But they can't, for whatever reason, for the same reason, pup, they can't write a damn prescription for a service dog. They apparently don't know how to do percentages of disability. So
well, my husband, I don't have any income because my husband is retired Army. He has VA disability and he works. He makes too much.
Yeah.
So I haven't never tried to get disability. But so, I mean, he's making really good money. What sucks, I'm not going to get into politics here, but he's making more money now than I think ever. Besides maybe the last couple years in the Army when we were both working, and we're struggling.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
my husband, his usual paycheck after insurance and a take home is right around $1,000 a week. That's a week,
Mhm.
you know, sometimes
Pretty good for
1,200.
most places.
Yeah. And we struggle. I mean, we live paycheck to paycheck, and it is good night, Dusty. So we're doing that tomorrow. Send me a link.
Oh, wait. Hold on. What do you say? I get a weather pop up out of the clear blue sky. Go away. Thank you. Oh, I don't know why that happened.
Send me a link for Dusty's Corner if you're doing it tomorrow.
I'm on the post show Friday. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Look out for that. Good night. Everyone says retire ASAP and travel if you can. Yeah, I watch a lot of the, we're looking at doing a bus build maybe eventually.
Yeah.
And I look at the van life and I look at the cargo trailers. And actually, I got hubby talked into this little Japanese truck with a box on the back. Long story. But there was a couple that had went through different, they did a van, then they did a bus. Now they're in a cargo trailer, which we looked at years ago before we bought the camper. And she said her parents were both gone in their 50s. And she said, saving up for retirement and planning to live your life and have fun later doesn't always happen.
Right.
Do it now. And that's what I say. I would, if I'd have known about this stuff when I was young, like how great fifth wheel campers are to live in, man, I would have been doing that way back when we were military.
Almost like tiny houses, yeah.
Yeah, I love tiny houses. And we actually bought a shed we were going to turn into a tiny house and put it on a trailer.
Yeah.
And we just never got around to it.
Yeah. It's almost, it's funny. It's almost would cost us less to just live on a cruise ship, 365 days a year than to pay what we pay on house payment and lot rent and all that crap. Problem is I have dogs, which I couldn't do. And, the two boys still live at home, and they would be SOL if we did something like that. But, code come. Oh, Pep, I'm trying. I want to come see you.
Well, let me.
Just not in the winter time.
So there's these mini Japanese trucks, okay, and they have a flatbed on the back. And I watch these creators over there that are making these little campers on the back of those that you can take off later. And you can get one because they have to be 25 years old to ship here. And they're with shipping, they run around $4,000 to $5,000. And if we can work this out, because I can't tow the big camper by myself. If I can get something like that done that I can drive, then I want to travel. I want to go to all the orgs and travel and stuff like that. That's my plan. We're trying to figure out how to make that work.
The biggest thing I would warn about something like that is if you get into windy areas, it has a high profile.
Yes.
And the wind will blow you all over the place.
When we came
or going by, having a truck go by. That's another one.
I was in a 27-foot U-Haul with a car carrier on the back, and I was driving it. Whoa! I learned real quick that happened in Arizona, especially.
Yeah.
Floyd. The bright side is you have to. Oh, he's talking about the exchange rate still.
Yeah.
Rent for a 1-bedroom. Yeah. And my daughter, I want to shake her. Because she spent her first, almost 30 years here and met a guy, because you were in a military town, you're going to meet somebody from somewhere else, from Southern California. And they moved there 2 years ago. And the amount that they're spending, but she wanted to be out of Texas so bad, And I'm just like, you could go to any other state and do so much better than you are right now. It's just it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Hey, Scooter.
Hi.
Scooter and I spent 3 hours talking
I don't know.
this afternoon.
Is this where the cool kids are? I don't know.
Yeah, we thought about getting one of those, getting a truck and getting one of those camper, the big motorhome type campers.
We have a truck, and I said, you know what? If we can build this box on this mini truck, we can build one now on the back of our truck.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm seriously thinking about doing it. And the way I want to do it is not running electric, not running plumbing, and doing any of that. See, my husband, the first time he took college, he did it while he was still in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was allowed to take sections of classes. He took building maintenance trades. He knows how to do everything from electrical to masonry to drywall. Nice. He did it mainly just to work on our house.
Yeah.
So he knows all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with woodworking, but that other stuff I haven't done.
I don't have a clue. Yeah, we talked about doing that and parking the damn thing in Corpus. For a while. Before we got this house, we were looking at it, and I don't know. He spent quite a few years OTR truck driving, and I spent, I want to say 5.
My parents were truck drivers.
Yeah, I spent 5 years in the truck with him. And
my mom would go sometimes, but she couldn't go full time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to hear, oh, that's the mile marker. I conceived your sister. Some other.
Oh God, yeah, that would be embarrassing. The worst fight we ever got into was whether or not Fort Chiswell was on the map. While we were living in that truck, and while we got to see a lot, I got to see a lot of the country. We didn't get to see any of the sights. Like you could hear Niagara Falls from where we were.
Yeah, my mom. Same thing happened. Yeah, with my mom. Yeah. Now my first trip, vacation anywhere, I was 8, and my stepdad took me. We lived in Ohio, and he took me to Florida. And at 8 years old, I could read a map and tell him where to go.
Right.
I don't know what it is about me and maps. So and then we had the flat nose semi trucks.
You had a cab over?
This was it. Yeah, cab over. That's what it's called. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
In the 70s. And they don't really have them much anymore. And not too much. His condo on the CB was the Joker. So when we got home, this is how I get woke up. I fall out of bed, boom, land on the windshield, and I'm looking at the ground. Because he took the cab and lifted it up and threw me out of the bed.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get to the engine. You lift the whole cab up and it's pointing at the ground. I was like, yeah, I've never forgot that. I was going to be a truck driver, but I ended up getting married and having kids first.
Yeah. We were in an international. Which was a international, they call it a square nose, but it was long and it was square off the front. And enjoyed the truck. I mean, it was not, things would disappear under the front of the hood a lot, but I never had that. What we had was the wreck, which in 2011 we had come up over. You've been to San Antonio, I know.
Yeah, I love. Back in the day, anytime anybody visited, I took them to San Antonio.
Yeah, we were coming from Beaumont to San Antonio, and going through Seguin, and there's a truck weigh station off on the side of the road that's never open, and this guy in another truck in one of those what they call intermodal trucks, which is the one where they put the box cars on top of the trailer, blew by us. We were doing, truck was governed at 70, and we were headed down the road. Well, in Seguin, it kind of goes up a little hill and then flattens out where the weigh station is. And this guy went up over the lip of the hill and then stopped right in the middle of the granny lane. No flashers, no warning triangles, nothing. And we're going up that hill fully loaded. And you know, daggum well, fully loaded with a truck governed at 70, you were probably doing 55, you know? And as my husband came up, his lights hit the back end of that truck and there was no stopping, you know? It was that close. And we ran into the back of him, pushed the engine. And I know, you know, trucks, they have the big gear shift that sits way up in the floor up front. It was 3 feet back and level with the floor. It pulled the engine back so far. The load came off the flatbed, took the top of the truck off 2 inches above my husband's head. I was in the bunk and threw me on the floor, put my head under the desk. I hit my head on the desk. And then we did a lot of storage of like our food, canned goods and stuff like that on the top bunk. And the load had hit the headache rack and pushed that down. So I had all of that stuff come down on top of me.
Oh my gosh.
And I had hit my head on the desk apparently, and it knocked me out. Well, it scared the hell out of my husband. He thought I was dead because I wasn't answering him. And when I came to, I remember kind of climbing out from under the desk and looking up and seeing the stars, the night stars. And I looked up and said, "What happened?" And his first words to me was, "Why did that guy not have his flashers on, his lights on?" Those were his first words to me. And was stopped in the granny lane with no flashers, is what he said. Why was that guy stopped in the granny lane with no flashers? I thought my hip was broken. I couldn't get out from underneath all the stuff that was on top of me. And trying to get up, it felt like my hip was broken. I had cut my eye here, and there was enough blood. Of course, obviously, face bleeds most. There was enough blood that they thought I'd slit my throat somehow. And so they called air rescue in, and they air rescued us out. They had to cut me out.
Wow. I was in a bad accident, but not that bad.
It was bad. Yeah, it was really bad. And if I were to show you the pictures from it, you guys would say, "How the hell did you walk out of that?" We were in the hospital for one night. My husband fractured his sternum. The seatbelt fractured his sternum. And I had a slight head fracture. It fractured the orbit of my eye where I hit the desk, and a small brain bleed. Now that brain bleed has caused a couple of things. Memory's a little iffy sometimes.
Yeah.
And
did you get vertigo?
No.
My
What I
get got vertigo with a brain bleed before.
Yeah. What I get is if I get excited, really excited about something, or really excited, and you know, I hate going here, but yeah, if my husband gets me really excited at night, I get a massive headache. I get a migraine.
For real?
And, yeah. Because it, you know, when you get excited, your blood pressure goes up, and I will get a freaking migraine every time. So it's been a while.
That's terrible.
You know, but, and I asked the doctor about it. So, you know, this is what happened. And it had been probably 6 months, 8 months. And she said, if it's still doing that now, it's probably going to do that for the rest of your life.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, that's kind of what we were. Yeah. And I feel bad for my poor husband, who's very Italian and very, you know.
Yeah.
And
it brings a whole new meaning to "honey, I have a headache." That's exactly what I was thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It does.
Oh gosh, Floyd lives in the middle of nowhere. No 25 from cell service, no 911.
Oof.
But
up.
Psych asked a good question. I feel bad. I was supposed to record this weekend and release a video, but I've been down, so it's hard to get going again. How do you guys do it? Honestly, I had the same thing happen this week. I've done nothing all week. And my husband said, you know, sometimes you do get a little burnout.
Mm-hmm. You do. That's what's happened with Sinfully Good and Cooking Americana. Is I got really burned out on the cooking ones because they're really involved. Because you have to cook a meal and you have to.
I didn't even realize that was. I watched your very first video I was like, and talking to you on your very first video.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that was you for a little while.
Because I had the red hair, the wig?
Well, no, the ones I watched, you didn't show yourself at all.
Oh, okay. Those were early ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the sausage stew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooking Americana or cooking Sinfully Good was the very first ones I didn't show myself on until I did a couple of live streams with Chad. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Well, gosh, that's 3 channels altogether you have, though. Dang, I can imagine that. 5.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, girl.
I have Sinfully Good. I have Cooking Americana. I have Sinfully Low Carb. I have Oh Hell No, and I have Pause for Pups.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing good to do stuff on this channel. I have all these plans I want to do.
Yeah.
And then when I'm sitting here thinking about doing it, I'm like, but for me, it's a little different because I'm coming out of major health issues and doing not being able to do anything, to trying to figure things out again and trying to get that, energy again.
I find to get myself going, I mean, like I said, I haven't done anything for Sinfully Good or Cooking Americana in, oh my God, 4 or 5 months. Mainly because I have videos shot for those 2 channels, but I haven't edited them all, and I need to do an intro on them. And I just can't get myself motivated, because I spent a good year, posting something every day on Simply.
My chat was stuck.
Simply Good had a video every day. And basically what it was is I got myself about 3 dinners ahead, and which gave me the time to edit and do what I had to do in the voiceover work. And then all the stuff was going on in the community, and I couldn't say anything because I had 2 cooking channels, and you can't say anything about anything, that's going on in the community or that's going on with the world on a cooking channel. It just doesn't belong. So that was where Oh Hell No came. Well, the thing that happened with Oh Hell No early on was I was trying to research topics, and that was going on at the time within the community. And by the time I got it all researched and ready to go, that had blown over, and there was no reason to bring it back up.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
So
same thing going on.
Yeah. So I started finally just saying something. There was a couple of things that I did where I just said something without doing any research. And then I started working with DJ. And I think that is kind of between working with DJ and now working with Pup. That kind of keeps me moving. Because we talk about, DJ's got me working on a very huge project that probably will be sometime early next year before we actually get it out. But it's very involved, and so I've got that going on, and then I'd like to do my stuff in series. So like I have the Collateral Damage series that I'm working on. I'm working on my next guest. I haven't quite got him nailed down yet, but I think I'm going to. Mainly because when I do Collateral Damage, I do not do Collateral Damage as a live stream. And the reason I don't do Collateral Damage as a live stream is because we're talking about things that are a little bit controversial.
Yeah.
And there are people who are notorious for jumping in the chat and sidetracking what you're talking about. And some people have made enemies really through no fault of their own, but people just don't like them because they don't like their opinion.
Yeah. And chat, can get a little riled up if you're trying to do that live.
Yeah.
Because yesterday, I don't know if anybody watched my stream yesterday, but I had been planning on doing why and how I became an activist at 55, mainly geared for my friends and family that know nothing about what I'm doing.
Right.
But every time I sit here and want to just record it, there's always some reason why I don't feel comfortable. Either Tom's moving around or,
Mm-hmm.
And so yesterday I had to go out towards Salado anyway. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go find a quiet spot and just do it live. And I just told everybody I'll answer questions at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Aaron kind of taught me that too, where he did 5 or 6 years of recording. And he said video or editing would take him so long. So I don't think I've done a pre-recorded video yet because I had planned on doing some things like some short informational videos I'm still trying to gear up to do.
Yeah.
And that aren't going to be live.
Editing when you're doing that. I mean, there's a lot to go through, but the first few times, I mean, like the early cooking, Sinfully Good would take me 6 to 8 hours to edit those because I was learning the program and I was not, trying to figure out where to edit. Now it takes me about 2 hours to edit. Because I know the program, I'm boom, 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 and I'm done, And so once you get used to editing, it's not as hard as it sounds.
Yeah, my issue is I was doing everything on my phone, and the problem is trying to get it right to the second mark that I wanted. It would jump 10 or 20 seconds, and I'm blabbing about something stupid. So I've just recently downloaded editing on my computer.
Yeah.
I literally have not touched this computer since I bought it till recently.
Yeah. What program did you get? Did you get Premiere Pro or did you get something else?
Hold on. Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I reduced it to look.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, I don't even see it. I don't even remember what it was. It was something free.
Yeah.
So I haven't actually used that yet. What I was using on my phone was.
You can edit in YouTube.
Yeah, it'll only let you clip the ends out, and I was trying to pull sections out, and it wasn't.
Right.
YouTube wasn't quite
really?
doing that.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would it only let you pull the ends out? That's dumb.
It was called clipping. I don't. Maybe I didn't understand it, but I downloaded something called InShot on my phone.
Okay.
And you can literally just go through it and clip things out. But I've only done that a couple of times, so I'm just now into editing.
Yeah, I got something called Power Director, and I also have
or something that
I purchased it. And I also got the Photoshop suite, so I ended up with Premiere Pro as well.
Okay.
And I have played with it a little bit, but I understand the Power Director better from Cyberlink than I do the Premiere Pro, which is what most people use. Most people use
Photo Director, you said?
It's called Power Director 360.
Power Director.
It's from Cyberlink.
Okay, I'm just gonna bring it up so I know it's there.
But that's what I use, and the video quality seems to be really good. I've found now that I can literally almost seamlessly edit, so that I say so and a lot, So I go in and I can take out all those so's and all those and it sounds like I never said them, that it just continues on.
See, that I haven't even gotten that,
yeah,
pinpoint. I just want to go in and pull sections out. But yeah, so that's why, Floyd, I did do a video just about my equipment because somebody else gave me those ideas. So I just did a short thing about how I started with something very, very basic. And, I slowly moved up to something else. And I have all the links to everything that I bought. And
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because my husband sneezed in the background.
Bless you. Oh, I didn't even hear it. I didn't know who that was. Adobe. Okay. DaVinci Resolve has a free version, but has a steep learning curve. Okay. See, I suck at. It has to be so simple.
It's got to be pretty simple, and that's what I found.
When I was younger, I could do so much more, but fibro affects my brain.
Well, when you're getting older, affects your brain. Trust me.
Yeah. I mean, when I was working before I got sick, I could multitask 4 things. I worked on base at the police station. I could do a background check on the computer. I could be answering the phone. I could be helping somebody at my desk with their report request and keeping a grocery list over here and remember everything. And I never had a day planner. I could remember all appointments. Now I can't even read a magazine article. I don't have the attention span.
Yeah, it's
anything is simple. The simpler, the better for me. I use Canva free version, but I'm not sure how to put things in order. I think I found an computer with it. Phone and laptop. Yeah.
I don't move. I mean, I have moved clips. Yeah, I have moved clips around because where I film them is not really where they should have been. Did that a lot in Sinfully Good. I actually put something in later because I'd forgotten to put it in earlier. So I moved that clip from there to where it was supposed to be. I've done that. I have not done any what I would call a live cooking stream, and the reason I really didn't do that. One is I don't like my kitchen, but the other is because when you're cooking, you can't pay attention to the chat, and that's the whole reason to do a live, in my opinion, is to be able to listen to or to see the chat, and so I realized that pretty early on that to do a live cooking stream, I would have to have somebody there to feed me the question.
Right.
You know
what I did yesterday, because that was something I had planned to film on my own. And like I said, I got the idea from Aaron because I found him right before he started doing live all the time.
Right.
And he had pre-recorded all his videos. And he said editing. He said, I'm just going to go live 2 or 3 times a day now and not worry about editing. And so I was like, I'd been putting this off I've been wanting to do it for a couple of months. And so yesterday I'm like, I'm just going to go do it. And I just told people at the beginning, I said, just let me talk. And then at the end, I'll go through and look at questions. So because chat can, for me, get very distracting.
It'll sidetrack you in a heartbeat.
The way my brain is now, it's like
that's what's good. Mom and I talk about is how chat can literally distract you from your topic and change the entire video. Right.
That's why I told him. I said, just let me talk. And when I get to a certain point, then I'll go through comments and questions. So that worked out pretty well yesterday, I think. I got out everything I wanted to say for the main point. I have other follow-up videos I want to do, and I'm going to try to figure... Because I'm doing this in my living room. You too. You have a lot of traffic going on, too, and I can't...
I've moved my desk.
Did you?
Yes, so we don't have any more headless and legless chests running around in my background.
I didn't see that, but I heard about it.
That was hilarious.
About it.
I'm now in my bedroom, and my back is to a wall that I have put a green screen on. I've tacked a green screen.
I want to do it in my craft room, but since I haven't been in there in years, it's a mess. I got to kill the spiders first. I'm gonna have to bomb just for spiders.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
But yeah, I've moved. There's a couple of reasons. One is the headless chest that wandered through the middle of my virtual background. But the other is I'm gonna try to stop smoking. And right now I'm fighting with the insurance company. My husband smokes, and the kids both smoke. And my thought process is if I move back here, away from them where they're smoking, it will be better, and they just can't smoke in this part of the house. All right, now I'm arguing with the insurance company about Chantix is what I'm arguing about. They won't give me Chantix; they're giving me something else.
I've never smoked in I've seen so many people.
Oh, I do, and I'm bad. I'm worse now than I used to be. I quit for a year and a half, and then my boss wanted to. This was back in 20. I had my teeth done. 2018, somewhere in there. And I had quit, and then my boss was a smoker, and he wanted to have his meetings in the smoking area so he could smoke, which didn't help. And then COVID hit, and the stress of that, because I was put on leave because I couldn't wear a mask. I had some sort of, my doctor thinks it was PTSD from something, but we don't know what. I can't pinpoint what it would be, but I can't. You put a mask over my face and you get maybe 5 minutes, and then I melt down completely.
Now I can do those masks, but I get claustrophobic in AIT in the Army. My job was in communications, and there was a test we had to do. We had to put the gas mask on and type the whole suit and gloves and everything on, and get past that. And thank God they didn't have a mask small enough for me and it wouldn't seal, because I was told, well, if it won't seal, you don't have to do it, because I was in that mask losing it, and I'd never been claustrophobic too much before.
Yeah, I mean, I can
even do an MRI. Just
I can too.
I keep my eyes closed, so it's
I can do an MRI, no problem.
Yeah, isn't that weird? But mask bothers you.
But the mask, there's something about the mask.
You must have had something happen that covered your face that you don't remember.
That's the only thing I can think of.
And see, when something is traumatic, like I don't remember my childhood before 7th grade. If it dealt with my mom, if it was like my grandmother or my best friend, I can remember that stuff. And so, we talked about hypnotism and stuff in Dianetics. It's mentioned a lot in there. And, there's people that want to go do regression and remember these memories. I'm like, I don't. I'm like,
I have no
I'm like, no, I don't want to remember it because I've forgotten it for a reason. And I have no reason to want to go find out.
Yeah.
And that's
sort of the same way.
I know, because I remember what she was like middle school and high school, and that was enough. So
yeah,
it wasn't never physical. She was verbally abusive and mentally.
So was mine. My mother was a narcissist, and
I don't know what was wrong with my mother.
And to this day,
I think she had that borderline personality disorder. She was just a mean person. Well, let me put this way.
Who?
Pup?
I don't know why.
Psych, it's okay. That's what we're here for.
Subscriber mode only, and I've been a
that's what tonight is. We're just here to chat about whatever subject. But I am.
I see her stream, but I can't hear anything.
I was happy when I got my 56 subs to go live. I was happy about, but I was worried. I didn't know if you dropped below 50, if you had to stop going live. So I got a little bit panicked. And we're talking about subs going live.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody even knows this. I was worried if you dropped under 50, you couldn't go live anymore. Or once you got 50 and went live, you were okay. I don't know. So I panicked because I got 59, then it dropped a few right at the beginning. So then Pearl Snappy shouted me out, and I went to about 100. I'm like, okay, I got a good cushion. I was happy doing that for the rest of the time. I had no goals whatsoever with this channel, had no vision whatsoever. I've been going with the flow. When I hit certain benchmarks, I'm like, that is awesome. And I'm like, well, I can do this now and maybe this, but I have no future goal. I think if you do that, I think you're going to psych yourself out.
I think with Oh Hell No, of course, I'm relatively new. I've only had Oh Hell No running 3 months, 3 or 4. But I had, when I did the first when I did the first collateral damage video, I got quite a few subs, and then I lost a few, and then we did the one with Scooter Mom, the Can We Just Stop? And
it's the girl child. Go ahead.
And Can We Just Stop got me quite a few more. Well, I'm running about, I want to say 260 something right now. And, you know, I'd like to be able to do the memberships and do some monetization on that channel, but I know it's going to take a while, you know? So I'm kind of, I don't know how many have I got on? Oh, hell no. I'll have to look. Give me a sec. But I mean, I'm doing okay. I'm not like I'm doing badly. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. It's not like I'm doing badly, but I wish I was doing, that's not it. Oh, crap. Doing better.
Hello.
Than I am. I hate that I'm not doing as well.
So, not a goal really. It was just a random number that popped into my head and seemed like a good number to go live at because I have anxiety. So I just thought it'll be a while before I get there. I have generalized anxiety disorder too.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I kind of wanted to have a talk with just anybody because I've been feeling stressed for a couple of weeks. I'll bring that up later.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's a personal goal that you want to use, then, I was like that too. When I first started, I thought all I would do is show up and hold a sign. And I even told Pearl Snappy, I'll just come and hold your camera. I don't want to ever be on camera. Never had a reason. Never wanted to be on camera. And then as I did it, and you can do it with if you're going to go protest or whatever. I don't know what your goal is for your channel. But if you're going to protest, you don't have to be on camera. And I wasn't for a long time. And then I started to feel more comfortable and realize I don't care what my creators, if they're perfect or, their channels are perfect or their shows are perfect. That's why we're on YouTube watching creators. Because if I wanted polished broadcasting, I'd be watching network TV or mainstream media. So I'm like, well, if I'm okay with it, maybe some other people will be okay with me.
Right.
And that's how I started being on camera and doing stuff like this.
It's like one of the things I can say, and I'm more than willing to do it with you. And I'm a small channel. I have 267 subs right now. Is that this is what I did with DJ and kind of what I did with Scooter Mom is I started working with DJ to get him to be on camera and talking. And his concern was puppy dogs are arguing.
Yes, they heard something outside.
But he was concerned about how he looked. And I had that concern starting out.
Well, me too.
And with Sinfully Good. That's why you didn't see me on Sinfully Good. Is I was concerned about how I looked. And then when I started doing the live work, I threw on a mask and full makeup, which takes me 20, 30 minutes to,
I can't do it.
As you can see, Scooter Mom is saying I've been pushing her to get on camera. And I have.
She's on here.
Oh yeah, she's amazing on camera. She is a calm voice. She knows what she's talking about. And the interview that I did with her on Oh Hell No was probably one of the highest watched of all of them. So I mean, she did an incredible job. Don't feel bad. I got one in the background doing the
They're
same
hearing
thing.
each other.
Oh, is that what's going on?
I think so. They heard yours. They were over here on the couch, and they heard yours, or vice versa.
That's funny. But anyway, what I would do if I were you, Psych, if you have some anxiety about being on camera, is work with somebody, partner with somebody. As Scooter knows, DJ will tell you that I've partnered with both of them. I've partnered with Pup Groomer, who has no issues being on camera, but I partnered with her on Pause for Pups.
Well,
and
also, just let me interject. if you want to try something, you can come on like this with no picture.
Yes.
Maybe start with just your voice with no picture.
Yeah, and there's people who do that. First. Yeah. I mean, you can do that. I mean, granted, people will saying, well, what does this person look like? What does this person look like? But the reality of it, Psyche, is this is what you have to think of. Nobody cares really what you look like as long as they can see you. Okay? They don't care. What they care about is what you're saying.
Right.
This community is about what you say, not about how you look.
Right. And that's what I kind of figured out after a while.
Yeah. So, we're not all drop dead gorgeous. I don't have a tooth in my head except for the 7 in the front teeth, and one is in the front on the bottom, and one is broken. I was concerned about that initially, but the reality of it is nobody cares what you look like. Once you get on and your face gets up there, they don't care. What they care about is what you're talking about, because that's what this community is about. Now, if we were talking about a makeup or a fashion or something like that, then yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I had to figure out, that, the people that wanted to watch me and was okay with that stayed. If they weren't, they didn't stay, and that was okay. There's so many creators in this genre now, in the anti-Scientology movement and stuff, that there's so many to choose from, and I think that's great.
Yeah, there really is. If you're not comfortable doing something live initially, like Scooter Mom says, do something that is pre-recorded, somebody that does pre-recorded work, and have them go through it and do the editing and that type of stuff. And let that be because a lot of times, like we were saying earlier, is you get distracted by chat. And if somebody doesn't agree with you and is vocal about it, you can run into issues. Whereas if you do, just like I'm doing collateral damage, I'm doing pre-recorded so that doesn't happen. So that, if I have a guest on that channel, the one that I'm working on has a lot of enemies, and they are concerned about coming on for that reason, and they don't want to sidetrack the conversation or throw any shade on the channel because it's young and it's new and it's small. And what I'm saying to them is that's why I'm pre-recording. Why I'm pre-recording those. That way, I don't care what they say in my comments.
Right.
Right. They can say what they want in my comments. That just pushes my video out more, But in my, in my chat, I don't want people distracted. And so that's why I say doing a pre-record sometimes is a better way to go, especially if you're going to talk about something that might be a little controversial, like, the collateral damage of the things happening within the community now. It's like Scooter and I were talking earlier. It used to be you'd get on.
I still hear you. I'm going to go let them out.
Okay. Used to get on sptv.space, and you had 20 to 25 channels to choose from on to which one you were going to watch. Well, now you go on to sptv.space, and you lucky if you have 2, So in the end, what I'm looking at is all of this stuff that's been going on in the community, all this discord that's been going on in the community has affected the number of people who are streaming and the number of people who are producing videos. And the reason behind it is that there's certain people that have a, set of groupies, I guess you could call them. And they come in and they disrupt your chat and totally sidetrack it. And that, to me, is part of the collateral damage. And that's kind of what I'm concentrating on, is what has all of this unrest created within the community, how has it affected people that are in the community or people who have experienced direct collateral damage? So that's what that's all about. And to do that, because I know we'll be bringing up subjects that people will have definite opinions on, I want to do it pre-recorded so that we don't get sidetracked and we don't have to deal with, as everybody calls them all the time, trolls. I got to turn on a light. My husband's fixing to turn the light out on me. So I'm going to get a little kind of bright here until he turns off the overhead light. But anyway, so there's, yeah, exactly what Scooter Mom is saying. Certain other creators who go into other people's chat and disrupt. They're literally there to disrupt your stream. And is Jack going to take his dog and put her up? Because I don't want her in here, Pete.
Why not?
Because she and Ozzy get into it, and then I have dog bite on the bottom of my damn while I'm trying to talk to people. Sorry, my husband just came in, and my son's dog should be in bed. You see? That's why.
I can hear that. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Ugh, I had to go tinkle too. I'm like, I'm up. I might as well go.
Yeah.
But I heard what you were saying, and that's actually something I was going to broach a little bit. I wanted to do because I've been stressed and I've been trying to stay. When I have discussed it, I've stayed away from specifics and just about the movement, how we can move on and things like that.
Yes. But
underlying my personal, it has stressed me.
Yeah.
That might be even now, even though I feel like right now we've moved on, I think we finally realized to ignore it and just move on. Have you really have noticed a reduction?
Yeah. I mean,
I was hoping that wasn't the case.
Oh no, I have noticed a huge reduction. Prime time. I mean, literally tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's not a good time. Well, because weekends are never good. But prime time on
LA
Monday
used to be Friday and Saturday night wall-to-wall streamers.
Mm-hmm. And they're not there.
I didn't realize because I never really tuned into LA a lot because there was so much going on there. I usually just would go to the smaller channels, to give them the extra time. And so I didn't see that. I don't go to sptv.space. I just assumed everybody was moving on.
Yeah. No,
I didn't realize.
I mean, hit prime time when, when everybody used to be on, there was dueling. Aaron would go on whenever, and Nora would go on whenever. And, there would be dueling streams. And you'll see when you used to see 20, 25 people lined up, you see 4 or 5, back when all this started. And it's a noticeable difference. There are times, I mean, there used to never be any time except for maybe even really late at night, when we're talking 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, there would at least be somebody on. And there are times when on sptv.space where there's no one on.
That was not
literally no one.
That was not happening.
Yeah.
I don't know what we can do to. Wow. Now I am more stressed because we all were worried that it was going to make people leave and even supporters in the chats leave. And I had somebody pop into my chat the other day and say something happened over here, so I'm going to quit SBTV. I'm like, well, don't. There's people like me. There's other creators here you could follow or watch or support. Please don't leave.
Yeah.
I think they were already gone when I said that.
Yeah.
And that's what I was hoping wouldn't happen. And it did.
Yes, and it has happened. And that is the basis of Collateral Damage, that series that I'm working on. That is also the basis of the Scooter Mom interview that she and I did. That was talking about can we just stop?
Yeah.
What literally needs to happen is somebody needs to pull the plug on all of this and reboot the computer.
Well, I kind of thought, I thought some of the bigger channels were kind of trying to do that in a way,
Yeah, but
like,
but
move
the problem,
on. Let's not give them the airtime anymore.
right?
Well,
Natalie's
they're not
definitely
talking about it, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, Natalie's definitely doing that. Aaron had a little piece there when he was doing a bunch of talking, and then has stopped since.
Yeah.
Nora will occasionally do that. Now we have, I don't know what the heck's going on with Marilyn and the cultology. There's something there, because Marilyn literally called them out the other day.
If it's not a big major thing,
yeah,
I'm not involved. I try to stay out of it. I don't want to know. Yeah. But then again, sometimes we need to know, just to know kind of what's going on with the community,
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go look for it. I don't.
Something's happened with Reese now. Reese did a video. Was it yesterday?
I saw that. Something about the haters.
Yeah. So something's happening with Reese. And to be quite honest, Reese and Tommy have stayed out of all of this.
Yeah.
They do their own thing.
Something completely else going on in her life. She didn't need it. She was moving, and her life was changing, and they stayed away from it. And I tried to also.
Well, I'm hearing Reese.
I didn't know enough about LA for a long time to speak on it, and I didn't want to.
Yeah. Reese, apparently there's been some threats, is what I'm hearing.
That's what her title said. I didn't watch it yet.
And she's trying to figure out if she's going to go on the cruise that she's paid for, whether or not she and Tommy are going to go on the cruise now because of these threats. And I'm like, why are people threatening Reese and Tommy, who they are in their own lane. They do their own thing.
They do something completely different.
Yeah. Has nothing to do.
Because of people, she made a separate channel with him. Her channel didn't like what they were doing, which I understand. She had a following. She had a channel that did one thing. And I thought, well, that's smart. That's good. I saw that she made a new channel with him. And so, I do get notifications on her stuff. I honestly haven't watched. I've watched a little bit. But like I said, I don't have time to watch all the big creators,
Yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I again, on the Marilyn thing, I watched both Marilyn's and Heather's videos. And I still am not 100% sure. Heather is Doctor Who Heather.
Really?
She's one of the cultology trends. Yeah.
And see, that's okay. This is the way I feel about it. If it's a couple creators or people in the community having an issue, I feel like they should work it out
privately.
And I don't feel like it should be online unless it's something that has affected the whole community, that has gotten that bad, and they have to speak on it, which is kind of what Aaron does from time to time.
Right.
When he does, he's done and he moves on.
Right.
And, but I feel like if it's a problem between creators or friends or whatever, they should try to deal with that on their own. And that's
I didn't
even know what it is.
I had watched Heather's stream. It was very short, but I had watched Heather's stream, and she was talking about people, somebody saying stuff about her, but she wasn't saying who. If you hear, things about me, come ask me, type thing. And then Marilyn the next day did her piece. Well, she had COVID. She did her piece and she called them out. So that told us that, she said there was some sort of vague mention type thing of people doing this, that, and the other thing. And she literally named it. She said that they were talking about her. And I'm like going, I don't get this. What is this about? And then realized that it was something going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That they were calling, that Marilyn was it was just weird.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing when you have people who are friends offline and behind the camera, that they may be having issues as friends or acquaintances or whatever, that me here in the middle of nowhere that never really talks to anybody offline don't know anything about. And if that's the case, because Pro Snappy even said it, she goes, if you don't know what's going on, you don't need to know. Don't go looking for it. And I'm like, I totally agree with that. If it doesn't include me, I don't want to give it light.
Exactly.
But I do feel bad, when I see people in the community not getting along. And so that's what my strength is just being on the outside and seeing it and just feeling bad about it.
Yes. And that's kind of what I do. But, when it starts to spread, around the community and starts to hurt the community, then I have a problem.
Right.
And then it does affect me, just as as a member of the community. And my thought on that is that you say, look, either we settle this behind the scenes or we agree to disagree, and leave it at that.
You can't. What I don't like is when they want the community to take sides.
Yes.
And I don't want to do that. And I got reamed.
And I won't.
Today. Oh, and it didn't dawn on me for a long time about what happened. That somebody that had my number texted me and said, if you're going to entertain so-and-so in your chat, then we're done. And I'm like, first of all, the person that was in my chat, I didn't even talk to. They mentioned they had 2 comments to somebody else, and that was it. So whoever told this person that they were, winding me up in my chat was exaggerating. But, my first response was, well, if they'd have said anything about you or whatever, I would have told you. And I went through my whole stream, and it was nothing. It was 2 vague comments that meant absolutely nothing to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, jumping on me when I don't know anything about what's going on was, too much.
Here's the thing that I look at.
I still don't know. I still don't know what that was about because I didn't care.
Yeah. The way I look at it is, if somebody's going to come to me and say, well, if you're going to, talk to this person or whatever, then we're done. I'm looking at them as one, I'm not allowing you to tell me who I can and can't be friends with and who I can and can't talk to, for one.
And see, that didn't dawn on me at first. At first, I haven't had friends since my 20s. So at first I didn't know how to react. It takes me time to think about it.
Right.
And it took me a while to think about it and be like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. That's my first statement is you're not going to tell me who I can and cannot talk to or who I can.
What I decided after that was if that person hasn't done anything to me.
Right.
Or hasn't done anything so heinous to the community.
Right.
If it's just 2 people as long as this person is still doing the work and still doing the anti-Scientology work, I'm going to support them.
Yes.
And I'm going to at least be civil. I had a guy that I worked with eons ago when I was in California. So that was like 92. And I hated him.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys. This was his job after retirement. He'd run a company. This was a small hardware home center store. And they put him with me to do the Christmas setup, which I had done by myself the year before. And he wanted to run it. And I hated him. But nobody would have ever known.
Yeah.
I said something to my boss.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I got along with him face to face, and that's the way. I'm not a controversial type person.
Yeah.
I cannot be purposely mean to somebody just because, just because.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we worked it out. We did it, and no one would ever know how I really felt. That's just the way I am.
Yeah. My second response to somebody telling me that is, look, if you are going to tell me that I have to choose between you and this person, chances are I'm going to choose that other person because they're not telling me the same thing you are.
Right.
You know?
And I learned in my 20s because of this toxic, crazy, freaking person in my life. It was a group of people that we all lived next to each other because it's the Army, and they happened to be in the same. We were in the same trailer park, and this was a tiny. This trailer park was so small. We had parallel parking. We didn't even. We were 20 feet apart.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, there was no new building. There was nowhere to live. You lived wherever you could find.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened, and I was doing home daycare. I was babysitting for this person. I was babysitting for the landlord. And then this person was the sergeant to this private. And then right next door to me was another. It was like 6 trailers that all knew each other. Yeah. I actually didn't party with them much. I stayed on so everybody came to me to talk. But there was this one person that would tell people, oh, this person doesn't like you. And then they tell, this person doesn't like you. And they got everybody riled up and with lies to keep everybody not talking to each other. So that person had control.
Yeah.
And when that person realized we were done with them and realized they were the problem, and that person left the state. And then when we all got together and started talking, we realized all the lies and all the manipulation. And so I learned early on. After that, when I left, I had no more friends after that.
Yeah.
I was like, done. Because my husband was my best friend since I was 16. I had my kids. I had my home daycare. I had church. I'm good. I'm done. No more friends. And I haven't had a friend since. I went shopping with a couple of girls from work when I finally got an outside job on post. And my daughter went, oh, my mom has friends.
Oh.
So yeah. Exactly what Scooter Mom said. I try to stay neutral. There are people in the community that I do not like, but you won't know about it unless we speak privately and it comes up. Me too. I mean, that's the thing about this.
No, I have.
But then you have to look at the big picture. And I understand this too. The big picture is we have a very large community. We have a very large group of channels, and we have all walks of life of people in the chat.
You're not going to agree with everybody.
You're going to get toxic people, people that like the drama, people that want to egg it on, and we know that's going to happen. And what we all need to learn, and we're all beginners. We're all beginners. And a lot of the beginners didn't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, I do because I dealt with it in my life because I'm old. Been there, done that. So I knew right away, day one, somebody came into my chat talking about another creator, and I immediately said, I don't know what that means. I'm not going to discuss other creators. And they ended up being put in timeout because they wouldn't shut up. I mean, that was really early on in my channel before all this other stuff that happened.
Right.
And if everybody would have adopted that rule, so much could have been avoided.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there are going to be creators. I don't think there's very many that like the drama.
Yes. Yes. You know, and there are people.
And you can figure out who that is real quick.
Oh, I know exactly who that is. There are people. That person is a person I call Jerry. I have Jerry and I have Howard. I have Jerry Springer and Howard Stern.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm sure you can figure out the two of them, who is whom. And, but there are people that, they're only here to watch the train wreck.
Yes.
I call
and
them.
We know that we
I call them
if
rubber.
you've ever been in YouTube or ever been in life, and that's the problem. We have a lot of young people,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't know how to stem that, stop that, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I did right away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where a lot of the problem was. It wasn't that anybody meant any harm. It's that they just didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
And I was hoping that the bigger channels, the older people, might be able to help them out, but it took time. It took a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I have to take my video. So
I call those people rubberneckers. They're the same people that
that's a very apt term.
Yeah, that you're driving. You're driving down the highway and you run into this big old traffic jam, and you get up to the end of it, and it's a little fender bender, and everybody has slowed down to see if anybody died.
I hate that. I freaking hate
that. And so that's kind of
because I'm one of those people that don't want to look. I avoid stress. So I'm like, I'm fine. I'm doing this all the way by.
Yeah.
But that's, unusual. I'm probably one of the unusual people.
Yeah. Somebody's got a flat tire on the side of the road.
Hey, Raider.
See if somebody died.
Hey, Z.
Hey, Raider.
New people. Night owls like me. Like us.
But yeah.
Night owl like this too?
Me? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It
doesn't help that my husband works nights.
Honey, Texas?
I love Texas.
I do.
I cannot stand the heat, and I've been here 30 years, and I think it has really been a mental health issue, and I just figured this out recently. Because if I grew up being outside, I've never been able to be outside literally 7 months of the year because I can't handle heat. I had heat exhaustion in basic training 3 times, and once you have it, you're susceptible. So I'm indoors all summer. If we'd have went to Fort Lewis, Washington, where we were supposed to go before this, we'd have been outdoors all the time.
But Psych, if you call these two people from now on, Jerry and Howard, you will giggle every time. I kid you not, you will. Every time.
You'll have to tell me offline. I know who one is, but I'm not sure who you mean by the other. I only know.
Which one, Howard?
Well, yeah, because we know who Jerry Springer is, but yeah.
Think of the one that Nora had the big fight with.
Oh, yes.
He reminds me of Howard Stern.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Yeah, I have issues with that person for sure.
Yeah. So I call him Howard.
Let me put it this way. My husband doesn't watch as much SPTV as I do, and he knows who that person is.
Yeah. I call him Howard because he reminds me of Howard Stern. I call the other one Jerry Springer because he reminds me of Jerry Springer.
Yep. That makes total sense now.
Yeah. So
Nora's had a couple good discussions about that recently. Which I thought. And what was funny is in our Dianetics talks on Sundays, DJ, I don't know if you were there, a couple sessions ago, we were came to this epiphany. He's talking about engrams and hypnosis and mind control and how he's going to fix it. And he's really laying out how he's going to mind control everybody in the Sea Org. Causing trauma, re-stimulating trauma, keeping you in an environment where you're constantly stimulated and freaked out. And that's what the Sea Org and staff is.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe the second and third gens could really, use that information. And then Nora talked about trauma and was reading some stuff off the Scientology website. She gets it. She totally talked about the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
yeah, DJ told me about that.
Yeah. I was supposed to make a short video about that too. Because I want to make these short 10-minute videos, informational videos. Because I get a lot of new people, especially when I go vertical, because you get in the short streams that come in that haven't done the deep dive that I've done, or probably you've done. And so I've done the deep dive, and not a lot of people have that are new. And so I wanted to hit one show might be I think it was called Snow White, because I haven't done the research. When they infiltrated the FBI and L. Ron Hubbard's wife went to prison.
Yeah.
And then like maybe the Danny
Actually,
Masterson.
I think Snow White was the Paulette Cooper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured I got that wrong, but you
Yeah.
know, kind of what I mean.
Yeah.
So generational trauma hits some familiar chords in my family too. That's what she was talking about. Me too. I sent that to my daughter because I broke the cycle from my mom, and her mom lived with us in middle school and was the same, just abusive. And I swore I would never be that way. Now, I wasn't perfect. I had issues, but the fact that it could be, did you watch that?
Mm-mm.
You need to watch that.
Okay.
There's a woman who studied kids of Holocaust victims that found a gene that because they had trauma caused their children and grandchildren to have that trauma.
Well, you know, that falls right around with genes. I mean, that falls in pretty much in line with what Jamie Mustard says about how when you have trauma, it's actually a physical injury.
Yes.
It changes your DNA.
This proved it.
Yeah.
She couldn't say, they said, well, how are you going to fix it? She goes, that's not for me to find out. All I did was prove that there was a gene. You guys need to figure out how to test for that, just like you test for other hereditary diseases.
Yeah. Yeah, because he talks about how you know the physical, you can see trauma results in brain scans, and that in some ways it does change your DNA just because of how you react to trauma. And so I mean that kind of falls right in line with what he's saying concerning the same thing. You know,
so I mean we're learning a lot through the Scientology movement about this stuff, and I'm reading Dianetics, and I'm reading this blankety blank. He researched how to mind control people. I mean, but I was gonna do a video where I was gonna say LRH was actually right, because after I watched that, he said that trauma, he didn't call it trauma, he called it engrams.
Something else. Engrams
is remembered in the cells. And I thought that was bull crap when I read it.
Yeah.
And then I listened to Nora and that woman she had on, and I'm like, that jerk off was actually right. A clock's right twice a day. A broken clock's right twice a day.
Twice a day, yeah.
He was right. Yeah. It does live in the cells, in the genes.
It does.
That was new to me.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you think about people who have been abused, they're 10 times more likely to abuse as well. You know,
I can see my mom did that. She did exactly what her mother did, where I was like, I'm never going to do this.
Yeah.
But I still didn't do it completely right.
Right. Oh, nobody does.
I still made mistakes. But, you know, there were things I swore I would never do. I would never, you know, tell my kids they were less than. I would never tell my kids they were stupid or, you know, but I still had the trauma and the anger issues.
You and I must be sisters or something, because I swear to God, that's my mother. You know.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of things in common. We've talked offline, and we've got a lot of things in common.
A lot. You know, it's just the thing. And I think, honest to God, I think that there are a lot of people who have those same types of issues, that have had those same types of childhoods. And, you know, there's no manual for how to raise a kid. There's not. I mean, you do the best you can. But at the same time, do no harm. You know? And yes, kids can be frustrating. I mean, we all know this. But to literally belittle them, it's amazing what kids remember into adulthood. You know? I remember, I may not remember the exact incidents, but I remember the words.
And then when my mom, even though my mom was dying from cancer, I still closed up my daycare and went up there to take care of her. But all I wanted from her was an apology. Couple of times I tried, and it was, I never said that. I never did that.
Oh, my mother said that I was the one who abused her.
No, she never did that. But luckily, from what Scooter Mom just went through, luckily my husband did something I think that helped us greatly. When 2 years after, so we started dating at 16. I graduated at 18. He had another year of high school because he redid a year back when. And but we broke up for off and on for 2 years. Well, when he went active duty, he has a big family. Mine isn't so big. It's very small. They asked him where he wanted to go, and he picked it the farthest away he could pick, and that was California. So after we got married, we were gone. We were away from our families, and I think that was the best decision he ever made, because I've seen so many couples break up because this person is like, oh, you should leave him because he's this, and you should do this, and you should do this, and you should do this, and they listen. We never had that. We had only each other.
Yeah.
And that's, I think we would have probably broke up if we'd been near our families. Yeah. And that's,
Well, I moved out of the house shortly. I guess I was probably 19, but shortly after.
I moved out actually at 17. I came back from basic training, grown up. I changed. Yeah. I started a year of high school because in reserves you did basic training between your junior and senior year. You went to school, you went to your weekends, graduated, and went to your school. It was a special program.
Right.
And I get back from basic, and all my money in my account is gone. I'd saved up for the car insurance and everything because my mom was on the account, and I didn't go home. I went to my grandmother's house. My husband, my boyfriend, picked me up at the bus station, and I never went back. And I lived with my grandmother my senior year because that's a long story. But anyway,
yeah,
that's when I broke free.
Yeah, I think my mother went to my father, and my grandfather died, and my grandmother's moving back to San Antonio, and I think my mother went to my dad and basically said, it's either her or me. And my dad, at the time, my mother was a big breadwinner, and my dad liked living in a y'all fired me up for an idea. Good. You had to hear that.
I get ideas from people all the time.
Yeah. Just in general chat. But my dad chose, I was 18, going on 19, and my grandmother needed somebody to stay with her in San Antonio because she had just lost her husband. And so it worked out that I went ahead and moved to San Antonio ahead of my grandmother and got everything set up. And then she came in, and that worked out really well. And I just kind of was so glad to get out of that house. And what had happened to me was I got bullied really badly in school.
Well, me too.
And
but my mom would just tell me I deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing, is that you should be able to, if you get, and that was before the social media, so you didn't take it home with you. But, you should be able to go home and be free of that for that time of the day and night. Okay. Well, for me, that wasn't the case. I got bullied at school and then got bullied at home. So I never had an outlet where, things were normal, things were calm, that type of stuff. And the bad thing, I hear you, Scooter. The bad thing about that is, and the end result of that is that There's a part of me that believes you'll never amount to anything. You're too dumb to do anything. Those types of things. And so when things get difficult, I throw my hand. I guess I'm too stupid for this. You know,
I was lucky.
That's what happens to me.
My dad left town when I was 14. He left his second wife because my parents got divorced at 2.5. So it was a weekend thing. But when he left, he asked, I always was able to. One thing my mom did right is she let me see my grandmother, my dad's mom, as much as I wanted. And so even after he left, I guess what I found out later is he asked her to watch over me. And she was always the one at my baseball games. She was the only one helping me go to camp. My mom didn't do nothing. And so I luckily had a talk in church where our church, you could get up and have talks. And I said, pretty much if I had not had her, I would not be normal. Close to normal. I won't say normal. Halfway decent. If I hadn't had her, I would have been a mess. But she kept me grounded. She was, a rock. Yeah. And he asked her to watch over me after he left. If I hadn't had that, see, this is my fiber, the word I want. Example. Yeah. If I hadn't had that example of what normalcy could be.
Yeah.
Family, she was very family oriented, and stuff. And my mom was married and divorced 4 times, so I didn't have that at home. I don't know where I got when I got married. It was forever. I just did. I just knew that.
Yeah.
That's why my husband and I were off and on for 2 years. We wanted to be darn sure we wanted to be together. And so, I example, luckily, or who knows what I would have turned into.
Yeah. See, my biggest thing is that, and this is something that I also know about myself, and some of the things that I think that I need to go to counseling to work through, to be quite honest, is that it is, I don't keep in touch with people very well. So if they're not with me all the time, I just don't.
I'm antisocial, very antisocial.
Yeah, in some ways. Now I like being social. I like being with people.
Once I'm there, I love it.
But it's like,
where were you born?
San Antonio.
I was born in Ohio. My mom never left Ohio.
But yeah, I am. It's easy for me to walk away for some reason. I've walked away from my mother completely. I don't speak to her at all. She's 20 minutes down the road. It's easy for me to walk away. And so family to me is not permanent, if that makes sense. It's not, I don't fight for it, but at the same time, unless I can actually physically go be with friends or that type of stuff, my friends are here now. I don't have friends out in the real world, quote unquote, but I count numerous people within this community as friends, Yep. It's kind of a weird, these parasocial relationships.
Yeah, and I had to look up that word, but I totally get it because I'm exactly the same way, and I have friends that are only online. And back when AOL and all that was new, when internet was new, and they had chat rooms, I wanted nothing to do with it. I said, I have my best friend. Why do I want to go into a chat room and talk to strangers? But yet here I am doing it all the time. But this is why, and I say this so often, this community, the reason is to be here, period. you have to have compassion. You have to
Yeah.
have a heart to
Yeah.
want to be and support what, this community is. Because if you're just a troll wanting drama, you'll know real quick.
Yeah.
Anybody else are like you and me. I'm here because I care. This is a passion. It hit me hard. And anybody, no matter what you've been through, no matter what way of life you're from, no matter what your trauma has been, no matter what your childhood was like, or what your relationships are now. I'm talking to all of you right now. There's only 6, but I don't care. But you're here. That means you have something a lot of people may not have. You have a goodness in you. You have an empathy in you to want to be here, to want to support little silly channels like mine that are going to Austin and sitting in a chair talking to a wall most of the time. That takes something. Something in you is good. Something in you is compassionate. You have a big heart.
Yeah. I'll do anything for friends. But I'm also one of those people that if you hurt me once, shame on you.
Yeah.
If you hurt me a second time, you don't get another chance.
I was a kid that had the extra paper and pencil if you needed something. And I've always been like that. I'm a pack rat.
Yeah.
I want to be there and have things that people need.
Yeah.
And so, and I say this in my streams so much, that to just be in the chat, just to be in the chat and stick around and watch the content, you have to have something in you.
Devin Baker. Hi, Devin.
Others don't have. Oh, my daughter's here. She's in California, so it's 2 hours earlier.
Yeah, I got that feeling.
I hope you heard that, hun, because that's why I'm here. Because, she knows about the friend I had that made me not want friends anymore. She was there. That my kids hated that girl, hated her. And I swore off friends forever. But this community, just to be here, just to be in my chat, there's 5 of us and 2 of us are on screen.
Right.
So, but anybody that's in the chat of any of these channels is because they have a compassion, they have a heart to want to support the movement of getting these poor people out of this cult.
Yeah. I mean, my initial reason for being for getting interested in this was because how close I came to joining it. Which was
we almost did. Close. We almost checked it out in the 90s.
Yeah, see,
but they would have never got us. We were too poor.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. They'd have put you in the Sea Org is what they'd have done.
Yeah, he was in the Army, and so he couldn't do it. And so, yeah. So I'm like,
But mine was I was looking for any way out of that house that I lived in. I was 16, and I was anyway, just get me out of this house, send me to boarding school. I don't care, any of that. And I travel. So the volcano. That's why this is behind me. The volcano commercial came on, and it sounded so good.
Yeah, that's what we saw on the night. We were looking for a church because we just got to California. We're like, that sounds interesting because we were young and wanted to try new things.
It sounded so good, and the only reason I didn't call was because I didn't have any money at the time. Well, of course, a 16-year-old, perfect age for them to recruit and say, "Oh no, we'll take care of you. Come on in," and put you in the Sea Org, and there I would have been. But I didn't know that at the time.
I would have balked early on. I
loved
basic training, but it was not even close to what they have to put through up in the Sea Org. The only part that was hard in the Army in basic, and this was before in the 80s, before they had to be nice to you, was the sleep deprivation. I couldn't imagine doing that and being treated like crap, like they are. I mean,
well, However, it's interesting. My husband could have done it because he went through Navy SEAL school and became a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
You
know what? I think a lot of that is, though, no, that won't work. I was going to say it was our choice. But then again, a lot of the Sea Org, they choose technically choose to do it. But I think a lot of it's pressure.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
kind
from the Netherlands. I found out my DNA research a little bit, tiny bit.
Oh, night, Scooter. Yeah, pub's up. Pub's up. Jeez.
Yeah. I'm gonna start that diamond painting. Devin doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna do something for her.
She knows
All
now.
I'm gonna say is it's cow related. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I also want to pups mods. I probably ought to, and I wasn't there last night because I fell asleep at the computer.
Yeah, I was there last night and I started falling asleep.
I
have nothing to snack on, and it's midnight. I had to get up and go get. Devin's like, "Oh my god, I love cows." I know you do. Pup does a craft that I'm not gonna. She doesn't know anything about it. And I've already decided I'm probably going to try to do at least something for her, something for Chris. And I may even, if I can get into it enough, do one for the in-laws.
Yeah.
All my family's gone except my half-sister. So it's a moment. But yeah, it'll be cows. Now, I do have a question. I was going to do the cows that are black and white. They do have some cows that are colorful with flowers. I didn't like them. I like the black and white. And I think that's what she likes. Traveltology. Same here. OHN. Nearly joined in Amsterdam. Coming from a small-time village, moving to Amsterdam, early 90s, feeling overwhelmed. Since then, always researcher. Yeah, it was the early 90s. My husband had just gone active duty in the Army. Then we got married. Then I joined him in California, and we saw the commercial. Black and white. I knew she was going to like black and whiteness.
Yeah, mine was early 80s because I graduated in 81. So, like,
and then,
70s, early 80s.
I got, this one was published in 91. I wanted the one in 86. I think it was the difference in price of like $2 or $3. But I wanted it before the 2007 when David Miscavige changed it.
Yeah.
So this has been eye-opening. I thought some of it's boring. I thought it was going to be boring. But some of it has been so eye-opening about LRH's brain.
Brain, yeah. How his mind works is just weird. Psych, I can teach you how to make gummy bears at home. It's actually really easy. All you do is you take a packet of Jello, what is it, six point something, and you add a whole package of unflavored gelatin to that. It's one of the little envelopes. Add it to that, and then make it as normal. And then you can put it in a pan and just cut it into squares. Or you can get the little molds and you put it in that. And if you want them sour, then go to your bulks area at your grocery store and get citric acid and just roll them around in it. And that'll give you sour ones. Just saying. So... And Miss Kim knows about my cooking background because she was there early on.
I think I was on your first video.
Yeah.
How early was your... I don't think it was the first one, but you did a sausage stew.
That was the second one.
Okay. I haven't tried it yet, but it's still in my mind.
It's really good.
Looks so good.
And if you want to do it, if you want to do it low carb, instead of the potatoes, use...
we love potatoes. My husband will literally just make potatoes to eat.
Yeah. Or you can add this too. So I change out potatoes for mushrooms because I like mushrooms.
Oh, I love mushrooms too. I do stir fry it at least once a week. I love fresh vegetables.
So you can take and add mushrooms and squash to that, like a yellow or zucchini, and bake it, and whatever you like to add to it. It's one of those things that you can add to a lot too.
Yeah.
That's just the base recipe.
The thing is, I make a different soup every time. So, like, when I had the kids around, when you had that little bit of vegetables left over, I had a freezer bowl. I would just keep throwing them in. If I had a little bit of pork chop left over, it went in. And we would literally take whatever was in that bowl and make soup. It was the baker's surprise. Now, when my fresh vegetables start to get bad, I have like chicken stock, I have canned chicken, and I just throw it all in there. It's different every time. I just soup. I'm just like, I make whatever.
Yeah. That's what we call a pantry soup, or I
didn't know what it was called. Yeah. Before the internet.
Yeah.
I will try the gummy bears.
The gummy bears are really easy to make. Really easy. Like I said, it's one thing of the
poor
small
man
thing of
soup.
Jello.
Yeah. We called it
poor man
soup.
It's one thing of Jello, one package of the small package of the Jello, and one package of unflavored gelatin. And
you can put anything you want in your soup. That's what's great about soup. You can put
it's like
anything in there.
It's like with me, when I make like chicken noodle soup, what I'll do is I'll make the chicken stock with all the vegetables and all the chicken and all that other stuff. And it's in one pan, and I make the noodles in another. And I just put the noodles in the bowl, and then I put the soup over the top. So you don't get mushy noodles.
Oh, yeah, that's smart.
I've
made that mistake before.
But yeah.
And like, even that soup might even have spaghetti and meatballs in it.
Yes, you can.
Yep, that's what I said. You can put anything in it.
Exactly. I'm talking about the gummies. I know exactly what he's talking. You can actually put the oil if you decide to go that route.
So I can't do it. I haven't done any of that kind of thing since I was 19, because with military for so many years. Now I'm on a pain management contract, and we don't even have medical grade in Texas yet.
No, I mean, my son has
I've heard it helps really well for fibromyalgia, and I've not had a chance to try.
My son has seizures. He's epileptic.
Yeah, and I've heard about that Charlotte's Web strain that has no THC in it.
Yeah, he is
seizures.
He is. His doctor gives him medical grade CBD oil.
Okay.
And which has it has everything.
I've heard that is great for seizures. The Charlotte's Web, his daughter was named Charlotte. You know the story? So there was a doctor whose daughter was having like 50 seizures a day. I don't know the exact number.
Right.
She was little, and it wasn't legal where he lived, but he started using CBD oil or CBD and it literally took her down to 1 or 2 seizures a day. She was literally to the point she couldn't coherently speak or feed herself. Well, there's a dispensary in Colorado that made a special strain for her that has no THC in it. She didn't need that, and it's called Charlotte's Web.
Oh, okay.
That's his
well, my son, I'm one of those people who never did any of that.
Mike, you got so many good ideas. I mean, you've been through so much stuff. I mean, every time we talk about something, you've got something familiar about it.
Yeah. So I never did that stuff. And my son brought in his.
I did it when I was 19 for a little while.
Never tried it. Never tried it.
All it did was give me a headache and make me bitchy. So I've never wanted to really do it.
But my son brought in that medical grade CBD in his vape, and because I was in so much pain, that he had me try it, and I told the way it felt was it made the pain somewhat worse, but the better part about it was made me not care that there was pain.
Yeah.
Because I obsess over the fact that I'm in pain because it hurts.
Me too. And I'm scared to death. My husband has gone off his pain meds because they make him feel crappy. I've been on tramadol. I'm going to do a short video about my health issues because they all stem from somebody screwing up my meds and shocking my central nervous system. And I got what they call traumatic fibromyalgia, where you get it overnight. It wasn't gradual.
Oh, wow.
Most people get it gradually over years. I literally went downhill for a week and left work in an ambulance and never went back. And it took a year to get diagnosed. I was so weak, I couldn't even barely hold a remote. And the day I went to the emergency room, my husband was getting on a plane for Iraq for 14 months for a civilian job because he just retired. And so I was alone the first 14, well, not quite the whole time, but for most of that time, I got down to looking like a skeleton because I couldn't get to the kitchen.
Yeah. Oh.
And there's a long story in that.
You know,
and that's why I'm very wary about new meds or changing meds. But I'm like, I realize how much pain I'm in on meds. It scares me.
Oh. Yeah, me
underneath.
too. Yeah, me too. Me too. And of course, I can't get, all I'm on is gabapentin and duloxetine.
And see, I didn't want to go on gabapentin because I'd had the reaction. I swear I had a seizure or something years ago before. And the only reason I went back on the Lyrica is when I hurt these discs and I was in so much pain that I was willing to try it again. And it immediately gained 20 pounds. Everything. Yeah. So I was 108 pounds after I got sick. But when I finally found a doctor that could treat fibromyalgia, that he wrote a paper on it, and he didn't like it. I was on Vicodin and fentanyl.
Oh my God.
I was on fentanyl, 100 microgram fentanyl patches. And this, I'll just go into it. Ooh. So 2008, I hurt my shoulder at work. And of course, it had to go to workers' comp, which I didn't even want to do. Because I'd done one with my car accident in 88. And you don't get nothing out of it.
Right.
So they didn't want to do an MRI or anything. They just wanted to throw narcotics at me for 2 years.
Right.
I was on 10 milligrams of Vicodin 4 times a day. I was on 100 microgram patch every 3 fentanyl micrograms of fentanyl for 3 days. Now, to figure out how bad that is, I was helping a homeless guy who was getting cancer treatment. He had tumors and cancer, and he was on 25 patches of fentanyl. So I was on those for 2 years. Now, I was not an addict. My boss said, "You're an addict. You take so much drugs." The pills, I always had leftovers, but the patch you can't control. It's just there all the time.
Right.
When workers' comp finally said, "Okay, we're done with you," I could go to my Army insurance, TRICARE. I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
There was about a 2-month gap to the referral I had for the new clinic or whatever with my insurance between the two. I asked my family doctor, can you just carry the prescriptions for 2 months till I get my referral? I get in. He's like, okay. But without talking to me, he lowered the amount of pills on my Vicodin. And when I figured this out, I've been on the same thing for 2 years. So I didn't look. So I'm panicking because I'm going to run out. And I call, they fit me in. He's going to go on vacation for 7 days. So he's in a hurry. So he's like, well, what is your level of pain? I go, I have so many different things going on. What do you mean? And instead of talking to me, which he never did, he said, you know what? We'll just take you off everything. And here's some methadone.
Methadone?
Yeah. Which I took 4 pills and quit because I went in and that weekend, this was Thursday. That weekend, he was packing to go to Iraq. He had just retired and it was a civilian job. And I felt like my veins were on fire. It shocked my nervous system so bad and my brain that eventually, well, he was going to training first, that I literally left work unable to move. If I tried to move, I spasmed. My whole body, and you can't fake that.
No.
Unbeknownst to me, the hospital I went to, they were going to take me to Scott and White, which is a great hospital, but it was far. And I said, and all I had was my 17-year-old daughter. And I said, no, take me to the other hospital. I don't want her to have to drive, which was my mistake. So the ER doctor that came in, that had never met me, came in at the beginning of her shift. I'd been there for hours. Said, we're releasing you. And my daughter said she can't even move because every time I would move, I would spasm. And the doctor had me sit up and spasm and said, I've never seen symptoms like this. It must be psych. Unbeknownst to me, for several years, they admitted me as a psych patient.
Holy shit.
For 8 days. And I couldn't understand why they weren't doing any tests. Nobody was listening to me. Nothing happened. Nothing. And it took a year to get diagnosed. So anyway, that's how that happened. Because even Morgan Freeman, he has traumatic fibromyalgia from a car accident. And see, I've had that. Precursors to fibromyalgia are a cervical injury, abuse as a child, believe it or not, and a trauma to a physical trauma.
Wow.
Oh, my daughter, I forgot my daughter was on here. So then my daughter, sometimes it is in your genes. My mom may have had it. I don't know. So fast forward, my daughter's in her 20s and she has carpal tunnel surgery, one, then the other. And because she had 2 surgeries back to back, she gets fibromyalgia. So the pain doctor I had, who was wonderful, is seeing my whole family, my husband, me, and my daughter. Because my husband had injuries from the Army.
Yeah. I need to find a better pain management person. He's not listening to me at all.
Yeah. See, I was going to Austin thinking I would get a better doctor because we don't have much up here.
Right.
And the doctor I found, I was with him for 12 years. I followed him from residency to the pain. And then he just disappeared one day. We weren't told why. It was an emergency. We don't know if it was, he was having issues with the pain clinic because they were flying. They had clinics in Brownsville they were making him fly to. Or if he had a major thing. This guy was a sweetheart. He would never rush you and talk to you the whole time. Dr. Benjamin Lowry in Killeen.
Yeah.
Awesome. If I could find him again, it would be awesome. But he, the first thing he did is throw 5 different new meds at me. And I went from 108 pounds to 180 pounds in 16 months.
Yeah. They put me on Lyrica.
Weight I went to the top.
Yeah, I had gotten under 200 pounds. And I was so excited about that. I mean, barely under, but under. And they put me on Lyrica first. And that I did fine through the first set of what you take 1 and then 2. But when he got me up to taking 3, I mean, it felt like I had drank a very, very strong, huge margarita. I couldn't put 2 words together to make a sentence. And I was supposed to report to him when I first started the 3, and I had taken those 3, and then I literally wrote the report to him, and I've read it since, and it's like, how the hell do you make sense out of that? You know, because I literally, and he immediately knocked me back down lower. And I asked him, because I had already done GABA once, that I go back on GABA because the Lyrica wasn't working at the lower level. So
the first time I took gabapentin, I ended up in the records room laying on the floor unable to breathe. And that's why I went off of it. And then so they moved me to the Lyrica, which at that time didn't do much better. And if you go off of any one of those 2, cold turkey, you could have a seizure.
Yeah.
Because it's a seizure med, which I didn't know.
I didn't know that either. I still did. You telling me that is the first time I heard that.
It's a seizure med, and if you're taking it and you go cold turkey, you could have a seizure. And we thought I might have had a mini seizure.
Wow. Well, I'll keep that in mind because basically what I'm getting now, he won't give me any tramadol. He won't give me any anything, because it's nighttime that I have the trouble. I can keep it somewhat at bay, taking the medications and being aware, but it's at night when I try to sleep that, I'll sleep an hour or two and then I will wake up because I hurt so bad. So I have to walk around. And by the time I finish that walk around, I'm awake.
Yeah. I used to never sleep. Do you know what helped me sleep better? And it's still not a for sure thing every night.
Mm-hmm.
Going gluten-free and changing my diet.
Yeah.
Going gluten-free and going fresh or frozen produce and getting out processed foods, which was hard when I didn't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a couple years to follow the advice. But when I did it, at the time, I got my strength back. The tremors, I was tremoring so bad I looked like I had Parkinson's.
Yeah.
For the first couple years. And then I was able to have more energy and able to come out of the bedroom. That just changing my diet. And when I go off, when I cheat and have pizza or gluten, I can tell the next day. So it helps anything with chronic pain or inflammation, because gluten causes inflammation. And I took a chiropractor / nutritionist to tell me that. It's still not widely talked about. Have y'all ever been on Facebook and seen chronic pain support group? I was in that for a long time. At that time there was 35,000 members worldwide, and it was just before they did the crackdown on narcotics. So there was so many people that were taking off narcotics cold turkey like me. And I'm like, doctors should know better.
Yeah. The thing with me is that if I just got something that would help me sleep, that would take the pain away while I tried to sleep, I would be so much better. And I keep telling the doctors I'm one of those people who is very non-compliant on medication. I'm pretty good with the gabapentin. I'm not great, but I'm pretty good with the gabapentin because I just take it when it starts to hurt again. Excuse me. But the some Tylenol 3, something that'll knock my happy ass out so I can just sleep through it because of the pain. And I told him, I said, I'm not one of those people who take medications, and I only would.
I used to not be either.
Yeah, when I need it, and but I need something to get me through. And do you know what he told me? Take melatonin, that type of shit.
Yeah.
Like, is that going to help me sleep through the pain? No, but it'll make your sleep better. And I went, what part of sleep through the pain did you misunderstand?
I know.
So
I would literally lay there and just feel like this. Trying to relax.
So my chiropractor, I was talking to him this last week, and he was telling me, he said, I wish there was more I could do. I said, well, you helped me. The first 2 or 3 days after having an adjustment, I'm better. My flexibility is better, all of that. You talk to my physical therapist, he'll tell you that. I said, but by about the 4th day, I am, I'm starting to hurt really bad again. And I'm not as flexible and all this stuff. And he kept telling me, he said, wish there was more I could do. And I said, I'm starting to think that what I need to do now, mind you, this is Scott and White. Okay. So, that big conglomeration. And he's the chiropractor there. He said, I wish I could prescribe you something or do something more, but I'm a chiropractor. I can't, and I get that. And so I said to him, I'm really starting to think that I need to maybe go to a place that is specialized for pain, a specialized pain management. That's all they do. And he actually looked at me, and I would have never thought a Scott and White doctor would have done this, because trying to get a referral that's outside Scott and White is next to impossible. Okay. He looked at me and said, I think that would be a good idea. You know, literally saying to me to move out of the Scott and White network and not rely on a department in a big conglomeration, but someplace that specializes in pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I was surprised that I had off-post doctors for 20 years. And then after I got sick, I don't remember what year, they built a brand new huge hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so anybody a certain number of miles out had to start going to the hospital on base.
Mm-hmm.
And the first 2 times I went, I left in tears, literally standing in the hallway the second time, telling her that you aren't listening and you're being condescending, because it was some 20-something-year-old captain that just got out of college trying to treat me like a private. I'm like, I showed up with a walker. You don't think I have a history? So and you're only allowed 20 minutes, and 15 of that was with the nurse as a new patient with all your meds. And literally sat there for 5 minutes and wanted to run off, and did that twice. And I'm like, they should have a different clinic for retirees, and a different time period, because we have a lot of problems. And I hate going there. I literally have not gone there in a year.
Yeah,
I will go if I absolutely have to.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be the same way.
Get off live. Oh, Devin. Okay, I'll call you. She called me because we had a dispute on a charge on our account, so we had to get new cards. So everything that's connected to those cards, I'm having to update, and she's having to talk with Disney.
Yeah, my husband.
That's what I was doing on my phone when I was trying to get Disney to work, but I still got to work on it. But yeah, with that chronic pain support group, I started it before the real crackdown on narcotics, and even somebody said that was so profound was something I told my doctor. I have never once gotten any kind of high off of my narcotics, off of my pain meds.
Yeah,
ever. I don't understand why people take them recreationally. And somebody in that chat said it's probably because we need them. We're not taking them because we want to. We need them. And that's what they were taking so many people. And luckily, I've been on the same meds for probably 12 years, and they haven't messed with me. Because they P-test you every couple months and not, and you know, I've never had a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just so frustrated with
EU is much better at banning additives. Yeah, I was telling them that a lot of people that think they have celiac disease against wheat, because I did my research. I do research, a lot of research when I'm interested in something. And another reason, part of that is the United States allows Roundup. And what they do is to get the the wheat to dry out all at the same time, they spray it with Roundup to dry it out. And a lot of people that think they have celiac disease is actually just a reaction to the Roundup pesticide. And
Roundup's a carcinogen.
We bought Roundup to use on our driveway, and we had it for a while, and my husband threw it away. He said, we're not using it.
Yeah.
He said he doesn't want it in the driveway. He's afraid it'll turn into a powder and get in the air. Comorbidity, yeah.
Yeah.
Many people take Neurontin off label. There's a lot of stigma. Yeah, see, they had me on Neurontin first, and that's when I had all the reactions. And then, because Lyrica is more expensive, but it's pretty much kind of the same thing. But yeah. The Neurontin, I forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
You need to ban artificial colors, flavors to the food.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, the United States allows so much crap in our food. And the thing is, I really studied Japan. I want to go to Japan because
it's the big companies. If you think about it, Monsanto.
well, another thing is Americans. I've noticed that Asians have all these cool fixes for everyday life things.
Uh-huh.
And I look at it and I figured out on my own that Americans settle for less
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
than Europe or Asia or Japan or whatever.
Agreed.
They would never ever put up with the things that we do.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, when you're talking about different diets and celiac disease and gluten-free and that type of stuff, I don't know if anybody realizes this, but the keto diet was originally developed to control seizures.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
that's where it started. So
That's
it
what I
is
was-
actually very good for people with seizures, but it's the cut down on carbs. But that's what it was developed for. It was a seizure diet. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I can imagine.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But
I'm trying
yeah.
to get
So
internet fast.
so if you go and actually do research on keto diet, it really helps seizures, and that's what it was developed for. Of course, the side effect of that is a lot of people lost weight, so they went on it.
There's another additive people don't know about. So I drank Mountain Dew for years, and when I went off at I went off soda about 2006.
Mm-hmm.
My brother-in-law, they live in a one traffic light town, and he built a garage with 2 lifts in it. He's a mechanic. He's busy out. He makes good money.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows him, knows he's good. Well, he's out there drinking Mountain Dew all day long, not water, because it's Ohio. Nobody gets dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was about 50, early 50s, he ended up in the hospital with kidney failure.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew has, I can't remember what it was called now. It has some sort of oil in it that no other soda has, and it causes organ failure. And it's been banned everywhere in the world but here.
Here, yeah.
And
I
that's
wonder what that is.
that one thing there is what made me never trust my government again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It says Mountain Dew additive banned.
Oh,
Bromated
really?
vegetable oil.
Oh, really? Did you see what Floyd Ritter just said?
Huh? What? Where?
At the very bottom, random trivia.
Really?
Wow. That was my reaction.
World, Floyd.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, Floyd, you're funny. Okay. I get what you're saying. I left my dogs out. They're mad at me. They're out there. Can you hear them?
Yeah, just slightly.
They're outside the door. They think they're going to bark at me and I'm going to let them in. I probably should.
Yeah.
But they can.
It
is
yeah.
1:30 here. My neighbors are probably not happy.
Yeah, it is 1:30. Holy crap.
I know.
But yeah, it's there's so much in our foods, and the thing that I look at is back when I was a kid, people weren't allergic to peanuts and peanut butter and all these foods and things. And
there's probably some pesticide on peanuts that we don't know about.
I'm thinking it's GMOs.
Yeah, I do too. I don't like that. I don't like anything done to my food.
Yeah.
I have gotten rid of all the toxins in my kitchen. I only use glass or stoneware to either store or use in the microwave. I do not use plastic in the microwave at all. I have silicone baggies. They're expensive, so I only buy once every couple of months. So when I do buy a lot of produce, I still have to use baggies, but I try really, really hard to not use plastic with my food.
Yeah.
And I won't buy anything plastic that my food is going to be in
Uh-huh.
from China.
Yeah.
I've tried the paleo diet for 5 years and I fast. Is that working with you or for you? Yeah, brominated bromate. I forgot what it was called, but you heard me. But yeah, it ended up putting my brother-in-law into kidney damage.
Yeah. And
And
you know why?
nobody knows. I'll be right
You
back.
know why antifreeze is so bad for dogs? You know what it does, right?
Mm-mm.
Antifreeze, what it does is it creates crystals in the kidneys and it shuts down the kidneys
Oh, see, I've
in
had
animals.
4 cats die from the crystals in the.
The fun thing, the interesting thing about it is, you know what the antidote to that is?
What?
Everclear, intravenous Everclear.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. I wish I'd have known that. Where's Petunia? There she is.
Doggies are in.
Come on.
Oh no, you're related to a whole lot of presidents. I'm related to Robert Duvall. Does that count? Lots and lots of presidents, huh? You have famous family tree. Sounds like Floyd.
Yeah. You're a celebrity. Kind
Oh,
of.
he says he's related to a whole bunch of presidents. I'm just related to Robert Duvall.
I'm not related to anybody interesting, but the first DNA test my husband got me for a present, it was some random one that goes back 50 generations.
Mm-hmm.
So it had too much information, but it tells you the celebrity you're related to.
Right.
I'm related to Eva Longoria.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Probably 50 generations ago, but still,
Huh.
I like her actually.
But when I say the antidote for antifreeze is Everclear, it is, but it has to be done intravenously, and you have to be very careful with it. But yes, it is the antidote for antifreeze poisoning.
Oh, psych! I know, right?
Yeah.
Saying no plastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, because my disease, fibromyalgia, they don't know how you get it. They don't know what causes it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I think that it's our environment. I think it's the toxins in our environment that could possibly cause it. They don't know. That's what I think. Because it's got, and it didn't get studied until 1993. So when I got sick in 2010, all the information was new.
Right.
Taken years to figure stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
And 15 doctors got together and said, I have all these patients with all of these weird symptoms. We need to find out what it is. And that's how.
Miss Kim, did we get you the small channel Discord invite? I think I sent it to you via email.
I haven't checked my email, so it's probably there.
I sent it a while back, but if not, let me know and I'll get it to you.
Okay, it's probably there. I'm seventh cousin of Dad. It was the Sacagawea.
Sacagawea, wow.
Oh, you're related to Sacagawea?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I read a book on her that was this thick. Bakers?
Wow.
Yeah, you saw my daughter's name. My husband's family is huge. Huge. They literally, there's a Bakertown, Virginia.
Elizabeth Taylor.
That my husband's family's from. They said the last flood, the last 2 trailers washed away. But there's still a cemetery, and there's a line right down the middle of great grandpa Baker because he had 2 separate wives. He had 2 families. You can always tell which family has been there because that side will be all nice and manicured.
Oh, that's funny.
So look, we went to one family reunion, his grandmother was going to turn 100.
Oh, wow.
Like 100 people show up.
Mm.
And then my family is like non-existent. They're all gone.
Yeah. It's interesting.
People on the Mayflower, Floyd. I'm still tracing my family tree.
Yeah, my dad.
Are they related?
Yeah, really.
Are they from Virginia?
My dad, we did a family thing, but my dad's name is pretty same as his father's. He's a junior, but my dad's name is Millage and his middle name is Barrow. And the interesting thing about my family is that middle names a lot of times are maiden names of somebody within the family. And my family's from New Boston, Texas. Okay. And guess who else is from New Boston, Texas that has the name Barrow? Clyde. As in Bonnie and Clyde.
Wow.
However, I don't know if there's a connection. I've been trying to find it because I've been kind of curious about it. But yeah. With that name, trying to make that connection, it's been interesting. And my family's from that area, so it would not be unheard of,
Trippy.
So
yeah, I haven't found anybody really interesting in my line, but my husband, a cousin, did like the family history and did like into like family stories and stuff. And there's like a picture. She traced them back to Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And but here in the state, like 1800s or 1700s, there was a picture of a posse of like 7 or 9 people, and you can tell who the baker is because of the ears.
Oh yeah. So you have
like newspaper clippings and stuff.
His family has stick out ears?
Yes.
So does mine.
My husband in high school said he thought my ears were cute because they were small.
Yeah.
I never had any guy ever tell me my ears were cute.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. My dad has ears that, and his father did, and mine somewhat do. I have to be careful of haircuts because if I don't get the haircut cut right and it's over my ears, then the hair sticks out. Yeah. But that's funny.
Yeah.
Anywho, well, you've got to make a phone call. I probably need to go jump in Pup's chat before people think I've died.
I might end up over there too after I talk to Devin.
Why don't y'all do a room raid to Pup?
Yeah, let's do that. Go over to Pup Groomer.
Tell her that we sent you.
Interesting. She's always doing something creative. I miss my craft room. I've been trying to get the gumption up to go in there, and you know what happens to a room you don't use? It turns into a junk room.
Yep. Yeah.
So I've been trying to get that. So this was fun.
It was
fun.
It was.
We're here. So.
Kim, what we'll have to do is get you with DJ and me, and we can do a chronic pain with you in there.
Yeah.
Because what you've been through is an interesting story too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll have to do that.
Yeah, because when I'm out and about, if I can talk about changing my diet to anybody that can use it, I'm all on top of it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I'm doing Dianetics tomorrow at 3.
Okay.
Anybody's interested?
If I'm awake.
Bonnie and Clyde too, and Jesse James.
Matthew McConaughey. My God, who are you not related to, Floyd?
I know, right? I know, right? So, all right, go over to Pup Groomer. She's
everybody run over to Pup and say room raid from Miss Kim.
All right. Good night, y'all.
All right. Night. I'm going to go ahead and leave studio so you can close up.
Okay.